Hello everybody. How is everyone doing? For some reason I don't see anyone, but it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine, I'm sure. So I wanna have a little bit of a moment and say we will win this war against Iran. And I see there are a lot of like this kind of defeatist vibes, and people are saying, oh, mm, let's pull out kind of situationship that is happening. No. We're going to win. We're going to win. Why? Because unlike what people are saying, that Iran is fighting in an existential fight, and that is why they would go all the way. And when America does it, or Israel does it, or anyone else, it's not an existential fight. I want to set the record straight. We're all in an existential fight right now. The implications, though, would be felt in waves. All right? So we will win. We will win. And Britain is done for. Something fell. All right. Britain, Triggernometry, I've seen they've made a podcast and they brought up a defeatist mindset, as well as Konstantin Kisin with his defeatist mindset. Whatever. I don't understand where it comes from. Can anyone explain where does it come from? What is this mindset that people had decided to develop of, oh no, there is a war we're going to lose? Nobody can afford to lose this war. First of all, the Iranians. If the Iranians will not change the regime, there is not going to be an Iran because they had depleted all the resources, they ran out of water, they're going to die anyway. And for the Shiites in Iran that are controlling the Islamic regime, this is actually a good thing because they're an apocalyptic cult that believes that the end of the days is something to strive for. So the fact that Mother Nature is about to enter the war doesn't bother them at all. And you saw the thumbnail. I hope you enjoyed it because those missiles that they aimed and planned to use, the rumors say, and I'm going to show you some of the sources that say it, and it's a very interesting thing to explore, that the ballistic missiles were positioned and aimed and ready to go, but most of them were aimed at Arab countries, and Jordan is included there as well. And the reason is that they planned to go down in the middle of the year. The middle of the year, 2026, and every other year in history is the 6 months, if I'm not mistaken, right? I feel like the 6 month, June is the middle of the year. What happens in June? Summer starts. They know already what's coming. They know what's coming. So they had a plan to go down and destroy the entire Middle East with them. And when I say the entire Middle East, I'm not talking about Israel. I'm talking about the entirety of the Middle East and especially the Arab world. Everybody had to go down because it's an apocalyptic cult that had already realized that they only have until summer, whether they like it, whether the world likes it or not. So all those losers out there who think, who didn't realize what the Islamic Republic already knew before the start of the war, that they're gonna die in the summer no matter what. Okay, how about we start and explaining it nicely to everybody in the media. There is no after summer. Summer is coming. I know the last time I was like, summer is coming. I was like, they barely survived this summer, even though it's raining right now, which is for some reason, the winter decided to come back to the Middle East this weekend. Do I think it's going to be enough? Probably not. How much longer do they have? Not much longer. Middle of the year, they probably already went. I want to show you the sources, of course, and I wanted to see how realistic they are because they come from people inside, and like it comes from analysis in Persians and Arabs mostly. There is a woman that aggregates their analysis, but that's an option, and it's probably something I tend to believe. The other thing I want to add here is why it's existential for all of us, right? So first degree, it's existential because of Iran. Iran, it's going to be, they either change the regime, get back in course and fix their country and the infrastructure by summer, or they're gone. Existential. So first and foremost, it's the Iranian people. And the Iranian people, they know. This is why I want to actually share here. First, I didn't think I'll start with that specifically, but well, actually, no, I'm gonna stay here on track, okay? The next wave is the Arabs. First of all, the Arabs are also suffering, as now you can know. Now you know, because why everybody started panicking when Iran was like, we're gonna hit your desalination plants? The Arab countries are also struggling with Mother Nature as well. And they're also living on borrowed time, unfortunately. But longer. You know, the difference between 5 years and a year is a long difference. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time to, there is a beautiful sentence in the Talmud that says, change and action is possible while the candle is lit. So as long as there is still fire in the candle, things can go differently. Oh, Nidash is asking, Rebecca, why not keep Sunni-Shia conflict intact by keeping Shia regime intact? Because it's a fake conflict. It's fake, first of all, because Shia and Sunna, it's a lot more complicated than just Shia and Sunna. Second, it's fake because you can see now how Turkey, who is the Muslim Brotherhood, gladly cooperating with Iran and trying to keep them alive. And the another reason why it's fake is because, if, by the way, speaking of the Muslim Brotherhood, one of the greatest inspirers of the Muslim Brotherhood was probably not a Sunni. Anyway, he was probably a Shiite. If you look at his where he comes from, he was probably a Shiite that inspired the Muslim Brotherhood movement. So you'd hear people are like, oh, it's like they're like the Muslim Brotherhood, like, and one of the biggest things, like why a group like Al-Qaeda disliked the Muslim Brotherhood is because they called the Muslim Brotherhood democratic. But if you know that the Muslim Brotherhood started with something that is unclear whether it's even Shia or if it's Sunnah to begin with, you can see that their philosophy is that Muslims can cooperate no matter what their kind of Islam is. And actually, they're so liberal that they are willing to also embrace communists inside. Like, they're very liberal, okay, in that sense. They're so the funny thing is that I don't know if many people know, but the Muslim Brotherhood is criticized within Islam for being democratic because they have such a big umbrella of kind of craziness that they're willing to accept, as long as you have a stupid economical understanding of the world, as long as science, you're against science, as long as you hate women, as long as you hate humanity, as long as you want to destroy the world, you're welcome. Kind of explain, there's like the entire green red alliance crap. And yes, please don't forget to smash the like and support this channel. I cannot do this without you. So yes, does it mean the preparations for the cardboard 12th Imam return is going ahead? It's going according to plan. It's going amazing. Here's the situation, right? It's like something's going to get them. Something is going to get them. So they're taking. So like, why not? Why not go all the way? Why not? And Netanyahu said it explicitly, like, we had to strike now. We literally had no other option because they were digging in the mountains, right? Fordo, just under mountain. It's like an entire mountain, and then Fordo. That was the next kind of plant that they had. And they had enough uranium materials to be ready in the summer to go and explode, because they are about to explode anyway. They are about to explode, and they know it. They know it. They know it, that they have until the middle of this year. It makes sense. I believe it. I believe it. Anyway, here's the thing, right? So after Iran goes Pfeifen, the next part is the Arab world. And then, okay, so it's a bit more complicated, like with the Arabs as well, but the plan is to take them down with you, and Israel, obviously, and with that, that would also bring down Europe. And then America can finally be the one island that is remaining in the world entirely. And so that when the alien invasion comes, it's going to be only the US, because it's like the only thing, and the rest of the world is like crap, nothing. But considering the fact that Mamdani is the mayor of New York, and the amount of infiltration and the Tucker Carlson of American, my guess is that America would go into civil war and also kill itself. It's going to be all of them. But I'm being dramatic, but it's not too far, because the thing is that if America, why is it I think it's an existential war for America as well, is this, and I think it's so beautiful that my friend here had made a video that is titled "This Situation." By the way, it's in Hebrew. Let me see if I can add subtitles. So this guy he does a geopolitical, has a geopolitical channel in Hebrew, and he's great, and I should really bring him over. Oh, there is an auto dub. Okay, there is a dubbed version. So he made a video talking about why the situation right now is way more historical than people realize. And it has everything to do with the fact that the dollar, like I said, everything that America is depends on it being a maritime war power. Depends on the military might. So it's, I'm so sorry, I forgot the name. I'm just, Adel Hakala, what's his name? What is his name? I forgot. I should talk to him. I need to talk to him, but I forgot his name. Okay, I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna show you. Let's talk. Which I super appreciated that he made this video. I was like, I should have made it a video like that. Like, because the way he explains is perfect. It's so nice that even people who are a little slow, like not as slow, like it's not that they're slow, just that they were taught nothing, which I understand. I also slept during school. And if I wasn't Israeli, I guess maybe I wouldn't be interested at all in anything, but.
What does it mean
Here.
to lose? What is the broader global significance of losing? Today, specifically for that, I went to my extensive library to browse and read and give you all the answers. What happens when a country, an empire, is strong, impressive, like, say the United States today? What happens when a country fails to project power through the sea, when it fails to control trade routes, like, say, what is happening now in the Strait of Hormuz? Now you might ask, is it true that the United States is failing to open the strait? Is it enemy propaganda? There is currently a fog of war. I don't want to tell you what is happening because there are all kinds of reports and it is hard to really know. But I want to talk to you about what it means, why what is happening here is so dramatic. And what I want to do is go back into history to all kinds of cases where something happened that you could say is perhaps somehow a bit similar, and show you what happens when the superpower fails to project power through the sea.
You
So
see why I love him so much? Because it's so simple and so true, and the way he says it is like, instead of me going, you guys, can't you realize that if America fails to project its power right now when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz, there is no America, it's not a superpower anymore. It's gonna be a country like anyone else. Because this is like the most basic thing about how the American economy and how it works, because the petrodollar is actually reliant on that, and without it, the dollar will crash. And you're gonna miss I understand Americans are like, oh my God, the gas gets the pricier. Okay, but what would happen if you lose the Strait of Hormuz? You're gonna be yuan and dollar is gonna be the same thing. Are you ready for this world? Are you ready for the yuan and the dollar to be on the same level? And now, I don't think it's going to happen in a day. There is a simple reason why it's not going to happen in a day. Because usually, and I think in most cases it describes here, there is somebody that takes the position right away. So what would happen if America doesn't take the Strait of Hormuz? It doesn't fail to project power when it comes to the Hormuz Strait. Is that there's going to be a power gap, and there is nobody who actually would step there and actually proved that they can be what America is, because there is nothing that can replace America. I mean, China didn't prove itself just because, like, even like America would decide to withdraw or anything. It's like, or have like a half measured, like a half win or like something, or would manage the Strait of Hormuz with cooperating with Iran. I mean, first of all, it's gonna be several months at most, but it's not like there is anything else that projects power. There is nothing else that projects power. So the American dollar would still hold, and everything would still hold, but it's gonna be not as strong anymore. For like the minimum, it's gonna be not as strong, but with time, we'll see. We'll see. Because there is no apparent heir. There's gonna be we're gonna enter a world that would suffer from the fun stuff that is called like succession wars. We're gonna enter succession wars with everybody being losers, basically, with no winners, with everybody being pathetic losers who cannot do anything. It's like having, so the world that the way it is right now is like there's gonna be a lot of men fighting for like a female's attention, but all the males are like anarchs. That's gonna be the situation. If America fails to project power here, then and the succession wars or the war would be like they're all like a lot of men that are fighting for the attention of a girl, but all the men are anarchs. That's the situation we're at, which is interesting situation to me.
Worry, I have many examples for you today, but let's start with a famous and, in my opinion, important example of what this means. From about 2,500 years ago, in 413 BC, we have a war between the Athenian alliance and the Spartan alliance. It is called the Peloponnesian War. It is a very famous war, okay? So we have Athens against Sparta. Athens, broadly speaking,
No, you guys know what I mean. I don't know how to pronounce it. I only read this word specifically when I read it in books. You know, guys that like were not, they didn't go through puberty because the church wanted them to retain a higher pitched voice or things like that, or they had to, or they wanted to serve in the Chinese court, like a palace. You know, these kind of people. How do eunuchs? Thank you, eunuchs. Thank you. That's how you pronounce it.
a maritime power. You could say it started the war as the stronger power compared to Sparta. Sparta was a land power, and for all kinds of reasons, around these years, Athens sent a force to conquer Syracuse, which is here. It is in modern-day Sicily. And this force, essentially, which included a large part of its navy and the trained personnel of its navy, this force ended, you could say, in disaster. The Syracusans and their allies blocked the Athenians in the harbor, burned the ships, and captured the Athenians. And then Athens lost a very, very large part of its navy. Later on, as if that weren't enough, in 405 BC, Athens lost again in a naval battle, with what remained of its navy, again.
Anyway, if you lose at sea, you lose everything. That's the point. And he brings a lot of different examples where it happens. You should actually go watch this channel. There is one example I really love. So I'm gonna skip to that specific one. I wonder if I can find it just by looking like, yeah, I think here it is. No, this one. This, I think this one.
Another example?
No.
Come on, I'm on a roll. Let's give more examples. 1588. Who was the strongest empire in Europe in 1588? Who knows? So the answer is Spain, yes, which more or less rules the New World, at least the southern part of it. And we also have the Reformation, wars, who is Catholic, who is Protestant, blah blah blah. Among other things, the Spanish decided they wanted to invade England and get rid of Queen Elizabeth, that famous Queen Elizabeth. Get her out of there because she is Protestant, and we don't want Protestants, we want Catholics, something like that. So he sent a huge fleet to Britain to invade England, and he lost. England beat them at sea, and basically, you could say that from this point on, think about it, Queen Elizabeth. Why is she remembered as such a strong queen? Because she broke the Spanish monopoly on power at sea, and slowly Britain is the one that became a naval power, and she is the one who took control of America for the next few centuries, not Spain. Why? Because Spain lost at sea and proved it was incapable of projecting power, and then whoever is capable of projecting power takes over. Whoever is capable of controlling the trade routes to England is the one who took over. Let's jump back forward to 1805.
Anyway, it happens a million times. It happens every single time. The basic line is simple. It's the same. The conclusion is the same conclusion every single time. Of course, every time, like people think, oh, I'm unique. I'm unique. I'm Unix. Yes, yes. Starmer. I love it. You know what? Instead of Unix, I'm gonna say Starmer. You are 100%. Just like a world full of Starmers trying to. Anyway. Yes, but we still rule the air, my dude. We don't get air is not the same. No, unique. Air is not the same as sea. With all due respect.
1805, for those who know, that's already Napoleon, right?
Okay, so that's the basic gist. Hoped it helped to explain. And I wanna bring Goldie Gamari here and what she had to say, like her personal plea.
So the sentiment on the ground inside occupied Iran is one of hope, but also a little bit of fear. And the fear that people in occupied Iran have right now is that the United States and Israel will not finish the job. And by finish the job, I mean getting rid of the Islamic regime. The people in occupied Iran are grateful that the United States and Israel are coming to liberate them, because we do see this as a liberation after 47 years of Islamic occupation. And so the message that I'm getting from people inside occupied Iran is that they're grateful to President Trump, they're grateful to Prime Minister Netanyahu, and the message that they have is finish the job, destroy the Islamic regime.
Okay, Americans aren't saying we're unique. They're saying we don't want to babysit Europe and the Middle East anymore. Okay, so there is, first of all, that means that there is no reason for petro. So explain to me, because maybe maybe I'm missing something. Why would then the petrodollar would still be a thing then? Like just like, I mean, I get it when it comes to the western side of the hemisphere, I understand. But when it comes to the eastern side of the hemisphere, like, and by the way, like when you say you don't want to babysit Europe and the Middle East anymore, does it also include Japan and South Korea, or is it just Europe and the Middle East that you're tired of? Because I'm trying to understand like how much are you planning to lose of you, like how much are you giving away from your strengths? How much are you, just spreading to whoever wants it, I guess. Like I'm just like I'm I have no problem as long as you understand what you're doing, as long as you understand what it means for you as an American, as long as you take a decision knowing the entirety of the implications of it, then I'm fine. Okay, I'm 100%. but I do want, I'm kind of like, the thing is like, I'm not confident with, is like, how much do you understand what you're doing, sir? Because the problem is that you don't have rare earth minerals. Those are in China. So what would, and it's necessary for technology, right? So what would, how would you get those, sir? What bargaining chip would you have then? And I'm just wondering, I'm just like, what is the plan? Do you have a plan? Please, geopolitically, please explain. Explain. I'm curious. How far does your no involvement policy go? And when you remove yourself from the Middle East, that means that China, right, has the entirety of Asia to get resources from and build up against you and against Japan and everything. So if you're only planning to stay on the north, like if you're only planning to be on the Taiwan, Japan, South Korea side, right? You're gonna have a lot more casualties when the time comes. Are you like, is that a risk? Is that within the risk assessment, or is it just, are you counting on what? Like what is the, please can, because I just, what am I, you know what, drop something, drop link to an American who believes that pulling out is the right thing to do, but also addresses the cascading effects of it. I don't understand, where is this analysis? Because I'll tell you something, right? When it comes to geopolitics, I can give you so many good geopolitical analysis that would actually argue anything, or what from in Hebrew, in the Israeli side. There's also a lot of in Russian, but I'll tell you something, okay? What they all have in common is that their perspective is Israel oriented. And because it's always Israel oriented, if they're in Israeli, for example, it's not, how do I explain? They're not focusing on ain't my problem that much. It's like, okay, America wants to screw itself. What do we do? Or, you know, it's, and also, even if it's not that kind of mindset when it comes to Hebrew or Israelis who are doing political analysis, then it doesn't reach the American audience. So please, American geopolitical analyst who talks about it, explains that. I'm talking to this guy here, James Bong. As an American, I understand a most symbiotic relation, okay with it, like because there is cannot be isolationist to survive in the age of missiles and trade. I mean, there was always trade. Is there any time that empires, trade is always what made an empire an empire. It was always about securing trade. The Mongol Empire, they took over the Silk Road, it's always trade. It's always trade. So where is it? Where are the Americans who are like, we shouldn't get involved in this, and that explain that what is their plan on how do they keep their economy going the way it is without this power projection? Like, where is it? I beg you all. I beg you all. Where is this? Where are those? Like, I'm lazy. Okay, I have that information. I can, when I'm like, okay, here's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I have an entire set of people, like go-to channels, but to be honest, it's mostly not English, where people who think different things, like consider different situations, or even English ones, right? But the English ones are not clear for the most part. And also, it's like they're always communicating in a way it's like there's so much self-censorship in English. That's what I feel. And I might be wrong, but I feel like there is a lot of self-censorship when it comes to English. So it's like they never dare to say everything that needs to be like the entire walk. So, dear Mrs. Rebecca, as an American, they have no answer except fuck Israel. Even those who do, it's like, is it me? Is it so, what is it? Is it who is an American? Americans, raise your hand in the comments. Say hi, I'm American. Just say I'm American. If you guys are listening to this channel and you're American, do you have anyone that you have in mind that do those things? Here, American, thank you. So there are Americans here. Okay, there are Americans here. You guys, I'm not just saying that to say it. Hello. Okay, there are several. Okay, so there are a few Americans here, and you are in an Israeli channel talking about the, from an Israeli perspective. No matter what I do, I'm an Israeli. Who and I don't mind, right? So I also think there are alternatives, right? This is why I liked JD Vance for about 5 minutes, and then when I took a certain, like in the beginning, because I watched one speech he had, and I was like, I love it, and then everything else I heard from him was like, oh, I didn't like it anymore. But what I liked is that he said, hey, the way we can, not take that much weight on us and not take all the responsibility is to delegate, right? Delegate power, delegate responsibility, trust our allies living in the area, they know best. So let's make Japan stronger and willing to protect itself. Let's make Germany stronger and willing to protect itself. Let's let Israel do whatever Israel thinks is the right thing to do because we trust our allies. Or, I love that. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's an option. That's an option, right? That's an option. But you can see that there is a world, right, that is actively not like not cooperating with you guys. So what is that like the thing is like, good idea, love it. It's not where it's going, because Americans want to not only be less of a police, but also keep criticizing their allies. Like when it came to India, why did JD Vance ran? Like this dude who gave this beautiful speech. Then you said that you believe that you should allow your allies and people, the trustworthy allies, like do their own governance with cooperation. Then why don't you trust India to fight against Pakistan in a way that would not go fight? Like, why not trust them? Why run and get involved then? Like, so true. Like, which one is it? Cannot do both. You cannot cry that Israel is going around and bombing gas infrastructure in Iran, and also not want to be taking over the Strait of Hormuz properly. Like, which one is it? So, because I think that there is actually an alternative. There is an alternative of delegation of responsibility. But with delegation of responsibilities, it means that you can, like, you have to understand, like, that if you want certain consequences, then the more you are in control, or you want to feel like you are in control of the consequences, the more you're going to have to take the responsibility yourself and do things yourself, right? With great power comes great responsibility, blah, blah, blah. So if you want to delegate and be less responsible, and then you give some of your power away, you're going to have less control of the results that you specifically want to have as well. Because there is a not so hard way to bring the entirety of the Middle East down, because the entirety of the Middle East is very reliant on water and suffers the lack of it. Just as this is what the Iranians that's what they did is right away, right? Like, gonna bomb a desalination plant. No desalination plants. That's it. Crisis. I get, like, it's not like this entire area can go to hell if you leave it alone. To be honest, you don't need to do much. But then it's gonna bring down a lot with it as well. And then what? Like, America needs to bring all the industries back to America, so it's going to be self-reliant, but it's not enough people to do everything. Like how would you do it? You know how many it would take centuries, it would take a century to, I don't know, get all the professions you need. Like, what is the thinking? What's the thinking? Who are the Americans who actually talk about those things, who understand those things? Like, you don't want to do anything. No, you don't want to educate your children. You don't want to go to war. You don't want to delegate responsibility. You don't want the gas prices to go up. You don't want. I mean, cool. I agree. I don't want to work and I want to be rich. I get it. This is like basic. But where is, like, even like talk, just say, like, what's the plan? What's the actual plan? What are the risks? It's like the Joe Rogan person. Like the Joe Rogan. Oh my God, this idiot, this guy. I need to show it to you guys. That's hysterical, which is funny to me. Where is it? Here, Joe Rogan. I think here. It's Joe Rogan and Benjamin Netanyahu. He's like, look, like, I'll explain. Oh my God, this dude. Shit, crap. I closed it. 1 second. Here. Where do you go? This one. All right. So Joe Rogan, I know it's funny, but it reminded me that he speaks with so much confidence, so much confidence. There isn't like the option that you might be wrong. Doesn't exist. Just doesn't exist. Here, let me play.
What do you think about these Netanyahu AI videos? They think he might be dead. There's a bunch of AI videos that Israel has released that are like clearly AI. It's on the Israel Twitter page. This one looks fake as fuck. First of all, it's weird because he sips out of the cup and yet the cup stays exactly the same level. And no matter where he moves the cup around, it doesn't spill. There's a moment where he turns the cup like almost sideways. People have zoomed in on the signs. That's not even real writing. He's saying, look, I have 5 fingers.
Come on, he can't be dead.
He might be dead. Well, his brother's dead. His brother got killed in a missile strike.
Recently?
Yes.
Notice that at stage one and
That's
stage
another loser
two,
speaking. I'm sorry.
America
I
is
just wanted to. Wait, one sec. Sorry, that's unrelated. Here, I wanted to show you this. Like, I made this video almost 2 years ago. I was like, Joe Rogan is an idiot. So funny. It's like idiot. He was an idiot. He was always an idiot, but now he's so idiotic. Such an idiot that everybody noticed. And like it. I mean, that's like high level, high level idiot. Yeah, I need to. I'm gonna make another medium. Like this is incredible, incredible. Okay, and this person who thinks that there are a billion Jews. No. Let me correct myself. Thinks there are 500 million Jews in the world. Is talking about geopolitics and is sharing his opinion with the world as if he should have one. Bro, you should not have an opinion. You are an idiot. It's like an idiot. Where are the ones with brain? Where are the geopolitical analysts that have a brain in America? Where are they? Like those who explain nicely. What, like, I want to understand, like, what if you're wrong? Like, why speak with so much confidence? What if you are wrong? Okay, this is another one, trigonometry. Right, I didn't watch this. I didn't watch this video, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. But I just want to make a point. I mean, here, this world.
Stage one was of the escalation trap was the bombing tactical success where you do destroy the facility as an industrial uranium enrichment production center. And that then would lead to stage two. That's when you'd get the regime change war. Stage three, which is likely coming in the next week or two, we would take ground forces.
Well, the Marines are already on the way to the Middle East.
Oh, yeah, they're halfway there. What President Trump is really facing is he's facing two terrible choices. They're terrible for the world. They're terrible.
Who is this loser? Yeah, I also, I'm with you. I used to like trigonometry, but lately they seem off the, like, what's wrong with you? I don't know what's wrong with them. By the way, Brayton, completely. I don't know who sent me another video. I made a video also about the lotus eaters, and I said, like, those are leftists, and they're calling themselves right wing. Oh my God, I remember now what I really wanted to open with. You know what? I'm gonna do it last because Tucker Carlson had invited somebody from the Communist Party of Israel to his channel to talk about Israel. You guys wait. This is treasure. And I'll explain. Like Tucker Carlson had brought to his channel to interview a guy that is a member of the Israeli Jewish Arab Communist Party. And there was something there, which is, by the way, I'm not popular on X. I am not that, I'm not a person that can in a second give you a snappy, cool answer that becomes viral. But for the first time, maybe, my response to that video actually got people's attention. Like, I think I got like more likes than usual because for me, I don't get a lot of likes. So yeah, I got 34 likes. This is like really a lot of likes for me on X to get 34 likes on what I wrote about what I think, like my realization when I watched when I read the comments to the interview. That's what I realized, like how weird the situation we're in is. Yeah, I saw that you saw that comment saying you hate the Lebanese people. Yeah, I dislike them with passion. But also when Mansour was in my channel, I actually, the guy that I commented to, Jonathan El-Khouri, I mentioned him and I told Mansour that he's awful just like every other Lebanese in the world. So as far as I'm concerned, I've never met a Lebanese person I like. honestly. Even when I made it, so guys, did you watch my video on the Druze where I literally explained the entire political situation of the Druze? Watch it, because I also talk about the Lebanese Druze there, and I had nothing to say about the Lebanese Druze even there. So the Lebanese Druze, the Lebanese in general, all of them, I don't like them. In general, like the vast majority. Yeah, I have nothing nice to say.
For his presidency.
So we are now in the regime change.
By the way, like there are, yeah, Jumblat. They are communists. The Druze and who is a good example of a Lebanese Druze, Amal Clooney, who wrote the constitution for the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt.
War.
Yep.
I can't like this. What George Clooney? What an idiot! Just exposed his wife working for the Muslim Brotherhood. So stupid.
What's next?
There will be a 4 and 5 to the escalation trap.
This episode is sponsored by
Yeah,
our friends
Clooney.
at
What's his name? George Clooney, the idiot. His wife Amal. She's a Lebanese Druze. I mean, half, and she's a 100% traitor, by the way. Traitor in general. Traitor when it comes to Lebanese Druze and Druze in general and everything. And she wrote, and yes, she helped to write the Muslim Brotherhood Constitution because she's a lawyer. What a wonderful human rights person.
Hillsdale College.
Oh, guys, is there anyone here who doesn't know what the Muslim Brotherhood is, by the way? Al-Ikhwan. Does anyone not know what the Ikhwan are? These are very good people.
Right after this episode, go check out their incredible online.
No, I'm not gonna check out incredible anything. From me, blah blah blah. The escalation trap explained. Okay, let's listen.
I hope that gives you some sense of where I've come from, why I'm here. And I used to joke I was I'm just still studying for the Foreign Service exam. I'm pretty sure I've aged out of that at this point. So I think I'm sort of stuck as an academic. I love being an academic.
I love being, okay, 1 second. Where are the Ikhwan, the brothers, the brother Muslim. Okay, I'm making a video on it, but just in general. The Muslim Brotherhood are basically what I absolutely dislike with passion, is that people would say it's a reactionary movement that started to fight colonialism. It's a reactionary anti-colonialism movement. Now, everybody who describes the Muslim Brotherhood like that, show them the cliff and tell them to jump off. Because they're losers. They're losers. Here's what they actually are. By the way, the story of the Muslim Brotherhood starts way before the actual the founding of 1928, because there was a spiritual or line of thinking that had developed gradually. So the first thing that started was in the end of the 19th century. There was a conference in Mecca where Muslims, permanent Muslims, had sat down and said, "You guys, look at us. We're losers. We are like, the Ottoman Empire, which still existed, was called the dying man of of Europe for centuries. How much of a feudal behind they were with everything." So then they met up in Mecca and they sat down and said, "You guys, why are we losers? Why are we such losers?" And they were like, they reached the clear conclusion that it is because the imams and their spiritual leaders were not following Muslim Islam strictly enough, and basically they put the blame on their leadership, saying they are not following Islam properly. Kind of like, within, in the same kind of spirit where people say communism is the best system, it was never tried properly. That was the first conclusion. But what happened in the end of that meeting, this is where the actual spirit of the Muslim Brotherhood started. Because what they did is something like that, okay? Now, look at this room. If each and one of us would now, reach your hand and would grab with your hand a person that is next to you, and you now all together start working on reviving Islam. So basically, that is where it actually started, because the concept is grab your friend by the hand and lead and bring them to Islam. That is the conclusion of that Mecca meeting in the end of the 19th century. All right. But their conclusion was also communism is great, except Islam is great, but the proper Islam was never tried. Same kind of conclusion that communist lovers have, but on Islam. And their methodology was, let's, each of us grab a friend and and go to the shelter together. No, then bring them to Islam. Anyway. So that's how it started. Then what happened was that the Ottoman Empire collapsed, and for the first time in 1400 years, there was no caliphate at all. And this is when they came to the amazing conclusion. If we cannot blame the leaders for not doing proper Islam, because there is no caliphate and no leaders, then we have to blame someone else. And they chose to blame the colonialism or the West, right? Like, okay, not because now Ataturk took and made Turkey secular, and now everybody is like, okay, no Islam, there is no caliphate. So who are you gonna blame for not doing Islam properly? No, nothing. No, not now. The goal is to bring Islam to everywhere in the world. And just like, a friend grabs a friend and brings them to the pyramid scheme that is called the Muslim Brotherhood. And it's a pyramid scheme, okay? And that pyramid scheme, the problem is that the Muslim Brotherhood, what they did in Egypt is that they hooked up the lower stratum of Egypt to aid. They started feeding the poor in Egypt. And when they started feeding the poor in Egypt, they created an army because they were now in debt to the Muslim Brotherhood and they wanted to take over. They got caught, banned, but the thing is that the population learned to depend on subsidies. And if there was nobody who would offer, so every time what happened is that those who wanted to take power understood that they don't have an option but to subsidize the food and stuff like that, because otherwise there would be a rebellion, because they already got used to their bread being paid for by others. So the interesting thing that happened is that they made, so it's like communism, but even worse. Because they trained the population in Egypt to be dependent on somebody that would feed them. And because the Muslim Brotherhood was there to feed them, right, by they funded it, they basically entered a situation where the population they would rebel if nobody is paying for their bread, and now somebody has to pay for their bread. And long story short, there is no economy in Egypt. They're gonna crash soon. They're gonna die. Basically, they had nobody ever told them, because unlike communism, that somebody says, "Hey, we had subsidized your food right until now, but communism is evil." Nobody dares to tell them, "Hey, the Islamic economic model is the same as communism in general. So there is no difference between communism and Islam when it comes to economy, except that in Islam there is also extra anti-woman stuff when it comes to the economical perspective, which is not mandatory in communism, but is mandatory in Islam. In Islam, it's mandatory to also discriminate Women in communism, it's not mandatory to discriminate women. You can choose to. You don't have to. You choose. So it's like, why is there communism is not working so well? Because it's the same. It's the same crap. It's the same economic system. Anyway, the Muslim Brotherhood, like the problem is that you can tell people communism sucks, but nobody in the world dared to come and say Islam sucks. And to this day, they're stuck with communism, which is hidden with like it's under the hood. It's communism. It's hidden with Islam. But because nobody would come and dare say Islam, Ataturk did. He said Islam is a stupid economic system. Well, Islam, yeah, yep. Sure, so simple. Here's the one of the things that I want to say, which I think we should all take responsibility for, is that you need to understand that when you don't say Islam is a stupid ideology, just like communism is, if nobody comes out and says it to them, and you are like don't Islam, and you fit into like, oh, let's not go against Islam because it's a religion and crap. And there now, like, what's gonna happen in Egypt? What is gonna happen? The death that Egypt will experience in our lifetimes. The blood is on Britain and France, the blood is on everyone who didn't tell them Islam is stupid. And just say it, Islam is idiotic. But specifically, I also blame the French and the Brits. I'm with the Muslim Brotherhood on this one, because like the Muslim Brotherhood was like, okay, if we cannot blame the Caliphate because there is no Caliphate to blame anymore in 1928, and they're like, okay, let's blame the French and the Brits because they're colonizers. I blame them too. Because they didn't burn Islam. They were like, oh, okay, Islam can. I mean, it's not like Israel didn't do it as well. It's like in the beginning, it's like, okay, sure. It's like they're helping out. It's a charity project. It's not charity. It's communism that is taking over. It's not charity. It looks like charity, but it's not charity.
By the way, it's the perfect place for me.
So, Professor, we've been really looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people.
Oh my God.
UK.
I know. It's not like it's not the French and like I blame the French and the Brits that if it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be any Egyptians that are gonna die because they would have stayed like a small population because they had nothing. It was thanks to the Brits and the French that started feeding them, that they started breeding and multiplying. Before that, they were actually in decline. This is what I blame the French and the Brits for, but like, for them existing. But, I can also blame the Jews because the Jews also developed drip irrigation and the Jews also developed fertilizers. So everybody's fault. Whatever, not my problem.
America, right away around the world, who woke up, saw the strikes happening and going, why did this happen? This doesn't seem to make any sense.
Yeah.
So could you just explain what you think is the American strategy for this war and why they started
Well,
it?
I can also try to explain why these strikes, I couldn't have said the date, but why they were almost.
Somebody says the Ottoman Empire formally ended on November 1st, 2022. Yeah, but the Muslim Brotherhood as an organization started in 28. Not right away. It took time. It was like, it took 6 years to think, if there is no, like, who are we blaming for not doing Islam properly? For not like doing the proper communism. If there are countries that are doing communism, right, in China, you can be like, oh, China, you're not like, you're failing because the communism you're doing is not communistic enough, right? But if there is no China and there is no communistic country, who are you gonna come and blame for not doing communism properly? No one, right? So you start blaming the West. But it took them 6 years to come to that, like to be like, oh, that's who we blame.
Almost inevitable that they were going to happen. So I've been modeling the bombing of Iran for 20 years. And it's important to understand that starting in 2002, the relationship between the United States and Iran fundamentally changed. Now, for decades before that, there was political tension. Absolutely.
Is he like, he lost me right now? Yeah, taking your entire embassy staff hostage for 444 days, something like that. Am I remember 400 and whatever, more than 400 days is like, that's like political issues. Why you bring someone like that, trigonometry? This is when, you know, it's those things plus the conversation I had on Sunday with these guys, and then this commentary of people like, oh, you don't understand what it's like. Oh my God, if we're gonna tell our teachers that we don't want our kids to pray in a mosque, we're gonna get we're gonna get a strong worded lesson from a strong worded letter from the school. Oh no, no. Okay, die then. It's only gonna get worse. And then it's like the whole time, oh, you don't understand the sacrifice. You don't understand like the risk we're taking.
Absolutely. There was issues of Israel. Absolutely.
I don't.
But what happened
I
in
don't know.
2002 is that's when
it's like, and then it's like, why does Israel has the right to defend itself? Well, and because at the end of the conversation, when it was just the four of us left, I was like, you know what? The only thing that I was convinced of is that the Brits will die, and they deserve it, because this righteous, oh, you don't understand the situation, or the minimum, like, this is gaslighting. This is gaslighting. How about somebody should take him and hold him hostage for 400 days in the basement. And then after that, it's like, what? That was just this, like, let me, you know what? Let's take this dude hostage 400 days and hold him in a basement. It's like, this is just a political, political something. Why? No, do you think it's, yes, we're not enemies. It's just, it's like what you do with when you have political squirrels. No problem. Why are you crying? You are alive, right? And you left before. I was like, huh? How about I hold you in my basement? Because we have like a political, not significant at all. Where did I go? Anyway, reminds me this Italian woman that I don't know why. There was this Christian, okay, I'm gonna say it without this guy. But there was this Christian conference in Israel that I went to, and there were like Christians from all over the world. And there was this one Italian woman who she secretly told me that she came to the conference, but she's not really Christian. She's not. And I was like, so why did you come to the conference, lady? And you're like, I don't know. I just wanted to see what's going on here. And then I was like, and then she was bashing on Christianity. And then I told her there is like, and then I told her, like, listen, there's a lot of things that are coming with God that are good, right? Because she wasn't saying like anything that, like, I sometimes like I have my grievances with Christianity, but there are issues, like you can say like, oh, I dislike this and that, but she was a hateful little, it wasn't like she had like criticism that was from a good genuine place in that really like that made sense. No, she was just like a virtual little thinking is better anyway, which really wasn't. And then she said, like, then wouldn't. I want right, because I got taken hostage. Like if I was taken hostage to Gaza, I wouldn't want Gazans to die, you know, just for me to be rescued. And all I could think is, well, I hope you get, like, all I could think is like, oh, how much I wish I could like get her there and make sure nobody takes her out. Oh, I wish. And I was like, no, she wants to be there. Nobody should, no, there should be, like, there shouldn't, she can be there and there shouldn't, but nobody should pay the price for it, because that's what this lady wants. Thank you so much, Ryan Graham, for your support. It means a lot to me. I have nothing to say except I'm glad to support your stream. Thank you so much. I'm sure nothing, like, I'm sure she's going to live happy, long life with nothing ever happening to her. What a terrible person, though. She disgusted me.
Between the United States and Iran fundamentally changed. Now, for decades before that, there was political tension.
Political tension, that's how he called it, political tension. I feel like there's this political tension between us two. Come to my basement, I'm going to hold you there for 400 days. Don't worry, I'm going to throw some bread and water in to there. You know? Political tension, you know? No problem. Political tension, sweetheart. 400 days in my basement. I'm gonna lock you there. I'm gonna do like a little bit of an opening where I'm gonna throw food so you survive. And by the way, he seems like he has enough to go for like several weeks without any worries of just maybe water, and that's it. Political tensions. I hear it again. Listen, I love it. Political tensions.
Fundamentally changed. Now, for decades before that, there was political tension. Absolutely. There was issues of Israel. Absolutely.
Political tensions. Did you see how they stormed the American embassy in '79 before they declared? First they declared. By the way, Shiites is that under their Jerusalem. I like what's called Islam believe Israel to be because the same America. Oh, you guys are saying that my voice is breaking. Stream is breaking. Voice is breaking. Something wrong with my mic. Still wrong? No. Is it? Is it bad? Got better? It's okay now. Okay. Okay. Oh, I see there is breaking news somebody shared with me. Okay, again, then same back to normal. Political issues. Okay, let us check what Tusi had, because I see some people sent on. maybe I shouted too much. Oh, okay, somebody shared. Is there something happening right now that we should be, or am I being misled? No, there is nothing. It was all right? It's right. It's okay. I'm good. Okay. Okay, let's continue then with this. Some are talking about ground invasion. Well, that's interesting. Okay. So I think we're gonna watch a little bit more of that and wrap it up.
But what happened in 2002 is that's when we discovered, the American government discovered, that Iran was going to enrich uranium. That became the Natanz issue, and they were getting equipment from Pakistan. So this was 2002. Well, in 2002, these were just holes in the ground. Think of it as giant football fields underneath the ground about 100 feet that were being dug out, Well, by 2005, they actually had some concrete facilities, and they were actually starting to put centrifuges in. That's when I started to model the bombing of Iran. Right from the get-go, right from the beginning. I do this in my strategy class at the University of Chicago, which I'm about to teach again, and I taught last spring, and I teach every spring. And the last day is 90 minutes simulation of the bombing of Iran and what's going to happen. I've been doing that for now it'll be 21 years. And also right from the get-go, I was very familiar with the idea of double tap attacks. In fact, I think I may be the first person on print to talk about that in a Cy Hirsch article. So Cy Hirsch was a reporter for The New Yorker, did a lot of pieces for The New Yorker. And he called me up one day because we had talked to me on other things. And he said, Bob, I really think that we're going to use a nuclear weapon, attack nuke, to take.
By the way, you know what I really appreciate? The way I appreciate things. Can somebody here in the crowd tell me what year was it that 9/11 attack happened? Here, somebody here, please enlighten me. What year did 9/11 happen? Nice, 2001. Interesting. Okay, 2001. So why is it? And he mentioning 2002. Do you truly believe that Iran had nothing to do with 9/11? Nothing.
Out Natanz. And I said, Cy, I realize you're always looking for a controversial angle here, because that's what he made his whole living on. And I said, but that's...
Oh, I also completely skipped the Beirut bombing that also Iran did. Again, Muslim Brotherhood in Iran are in the same bed. Why is the Beirut bombing, the barracks bombing, like that killed hundreds of Americans, like also like nothing? Like nothing until the enrichment of in Natanz in 2002, there was nothing. Nothing.
Just not what we're going to do. And he said, what do you mean? I said, we're going to do double tap attacks with precision weapons. He said, what do you mean? I'm calling the Air Force. Nobody's talking about this. And I said, no, let me explain to you, sir. So you know that GPS exists, and that is how we guide our bombs. What you may not know is GPS is not two-dimensional, it's three-dimensional. So even though in history we have never done this, I said, Asai, what we're going to do is we're not going to want to use attack nuke, and it's just not where we're going to go. What the necessity is going to create the mother of invention. And even though we've never done this in history, and there may be no plans in the Pentagon to do this, we're going to do double tap attacks. And he said, what do you mean, Bob? I said, we're going to take 2,000-pound bombs, which we had at the time, JDAMs are called, and these create radii of between, of blast, where in dirt, it's about 50 feet, in concrete, it's about 25 feet. So just to give you a sense of the radius we're talking about. And what we're gonna do is we're going to target Natanz, and we're going to have one bomb hit the first top of Natanz, and we're going to time the second bomb to come in 15 to 30 seconds later. We're not going to wait to do bomb damage assessment. We're literally going to plan the double tap, and we're going to estimate how deep the first one went, and then we'll have the second bomb hit just about 25 feet or so deeper. Then we'll have a third bomb hit, and we're going to get into those centrifuges. Well, he published that. It's either 2004 or they're around in the New Yorker. Your folks can, listeners can go find it. Well, that is how I started to model the bombing of Iran. So I said we're going to take these B-2s. We've got, here's the target set. Here's what we can find. Now, as I'm doing this, Iran is developing from Natanz to Fordo, and there's a whole discussion of that I can give you.
Yeah, okay,
and then
so
we too are, when Fordo came on, we build the Moab, which is the 30,000 pounder. So all the way along the way, every year I'm updating. Now, that's like the details of this, of the first, of the actual
okay,
on
where's
paper.
where's
But what
the
does it
point
mean
here?
in terms of the attack? What's the strategic reality? So right from the beginning, it was always going to be clear that we, the Americans, would be able to attack Natanz and Fordo with
Yeah.
90+% tactical success, meaning the bombs would.
Then they should have used a tactical nuke and that's it, right? In 2002, it would have been very impressive. Could have used the regular nuke as well. She's like, who cares? What the heck? Okay, where is is there anything here? Why? I think there is a graph somewhere. I saw a graph. I'm excited about the graph. Graph. Whatever.
Going from the land to the tankers and things like that. These are special design. There's not here is not reversible.
The treatment
like
cost
the
of ground
shipping could be
invasion.
reversed.
Okay, it's gonna be some loser talking points. Oil price. Oil. Okay. Interesting. Okay, this is what they're so. Okay, fine. Let's hear about it.
Lasting damage, and that is going to put us in the OPEC 73 territory. So that's why you see me really ginnying up coming on your show. I've been on, I think, why am I, spending 18, 19 hours a day doing this? I'm extremely concerned because as much as...
How many? Why is it getting, like, guys, trigonometry, like, invite me. I'm going to talk to you. Like, I'm going to tell you something that is really happening, not this crap.
This has been dangerous so far, we're going to cross the next threshold, which will be much more difficult. I'm worried, and so I'm going to do everything I can to explain that here, because
listen,
crossing
like,
this threshold.
You don't need a fat frog-looking guy to make shit up. I can also make shit up, and I don't look like a fat frog guy. It's not like I know everything, right? I'm not like a military expert, for example, right? So if there is something that it has to do with military tactics or, by the way, like there are a few things like I know, like the basic stuff, like then I check with military experts and things like that, right? There are things that I'm not expert of, but at least I don't look like a frog, right? And by the way, like which. Maybe because they talk about amphibians and like using Marines to take over, and the amphibian kind of like, or is it called like taking over a Kalg Island properly, like a ground invasion? Maybe that's why they brought the frog-looking guy. Is that the logic? Because like I think my eyes are pretty big, so you can say like I look like a fish a little bit. But fish are not amphibians. I'm guessing that's beyond the point. I see now. A frog-looking guy, like but a toad-looking guy is it must be an expert. Yeah, amphibious assault. Like, doesn't he look like a toad? He looks like a toad. Like, yeah. Whatever.
I think is going to lead to now the beginning of truly lasting, reversible over several months at quickest cost, not just a day.
I can also go and talk, like, actually I can, like, what? I mean, here's the thing, right? I want to skip to the global consequences. I want to understand, like, what kind of person gets the honor of being on trigonometry that's supposed to be like they're bringing experts, which they are not. They're not. And also, I think Winston Marshall, that I love, he brought over like this guy who talked about Syria, and the guy that like, and I know more about Syria than amphibious attacks. I can just tell you that the water in the Persian Gulf is pretty shallow. That's I can tell you that. But other than that, like, it's not my expertise, but I can gather enough information quickly, you know, so that I would sound expert enough when it comes to this. But, you know, it's like, it's the spirit. You know what it reminds me, right? It's like the mindset of going to war with Hezbollah, who had thousands and thousands and thousands of missiles, like, you know, just pointing on Israel, was very terrifying until their balls went kaput, like, you know, with the pager operation. Like the pager operation, really, like when it was like, okay, we're fighting with a bunch of blind, handless or ballless guys. So, you know, without balls, the missiles they don't work. That, you know, it's like they stay pointing on the ground without the balls. So so the missiles, like the 1,000 and all the missiles that were pointing at us, like people like you know, it's like, but here's the thing, let people do their job and let them surprise you with what they would achieve. Let them here, because instead of saying, okay, instead of saying, like, how about like in 2 years down the stream, if they started that war, Israel would have been wiped out because Iran would have had the nukes. China would have been in the mental mindset to help out properly, and you know, everything would, and all the guns would be pointing us at the same time, and Israel would have disappeared from the map, right? So even, you know, even if you have to 10,000 have to die, like Israelis were like, okay, whatever, it's like 10,000 is not million, right? It's better than a million. So that's it. That's the life. That's life. You have to fight sometimes. And then their balls got blown off. So how about Iran cannot have nukes because they're going to use them. Iran, as it is right now, is going to be, like, just think what kind of a disaster Syria brought to the world by collapsing. Iran is way bigger. So we don't, like, you know. So that's the situation. That's the situation. Iran can block the Strait of Hormuz from now to eternity if you don't do anything. And especially if Iran had a nuke, then the Strait of Hormuz now, guess who it would belong to? Who would the Strait of Hormuz belong to now if Iran had a nuke? Bye-bye Gulf countries, bye-bye Mecca, bye-bye Israel, and then bye-bye Europe, whatever, you know, cascading effect. So now you're gonna have to fight, and the American economy would crash and everything. So how about, yes, we're taking a risk now. Yes, there is a cost, but down the line we're gonna get World War III, because this is what happened. What brought World War II? Was it the Germans going crazy, or was it the rest of the world doing nothing to stop them? What really brought, you know, what if we ask a different question? Instead of saying, hey, why did the Germans went crazy? We ask, why didn't the world stop them from going crazy, right? Why is it when they chose a person that had schizophrenia to lead the country, the rest of the world wasn't like, hey, how about not choosing a guy who suffers from schizophrenia to lead you? That's crazy. No, nobody said anything. And then how many millions died? Like, it was catastrophic, right? Nobody like, how about we stop Germany when it's small?
Yeah. No. So this is like, how many of the same kind of examples do you need before you understand the cost of waiting? Right? It's like, no. And so Israel, and then here's the other thing, right? So why am I saying all that, right? So Israel had all the missiles of Hezbollah pointing at it. Now we're going to fight. Are there going to be sacrifices? Yes. A lot? Yes. And then the pagers thing happened, and they lost their balls, and it was like, okay. So not only there needs to be a mindset that says, hey, it needs to be done. Yes, there's going to be a cost. There also should be a place of humbleness to say, we don't know what people, how creative, what they can do, right? Nobody imagined the pager attack. So what do you know, sir, about, you know how many soldiers in the American army are waiting for the chance to show the world how amazing they are? Like, because I'm sure the American army that it recruits people already after they go to college, unlike the kids that go to Israeli army, which are basically like have no education and then they go to fight. No, the American army, like, they're professionals. They go to college, they study, they do everything. They have, believe me, they have, and then they never get the chance to show what they can do. And then not only that, a small little country goes and blows people's balls off, and give the American soldiers like a chance to show what they can do, sir. How about that? How about, they are the biggest, like, there is a reason they are great. Believe in them. Believe in them. They're gonna blow our minds off with their abilities. I'm sure of that. I have a feeling that the American soldiers are no pussies. They're not, and they're being painted like that. Can you imagine serving in the American army? And I know people who went, even Jews who went, which when I was younger really perplexed me. I was like, you're a Jew, why are you serving in the American army? You should serve in, okay, whatever. Let them shine, sir. Be excited. Be like, we're fighting for the West. Let them shine. 2 years ago, I would have said like, but that blah, 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 blah. But today we already know, first of all, that if they have nukes, they will use them. And second, we know that we should be humble, because at any moment, somebody's balls can be blown off in very magnificent ways. Where is this? Like, where is this? Start with that, and then go with your crap. Nukens, thank you so much for support. Nukes that could reach anywhere and the will to use them. What could possibly go wrong? I know, right? I know. And a country that is gonna go like, and infrastructure that is being decimated by overuse of water. So they're gonna use them because it's like, if we go, everybody goes, right? Mindset that there are, and you're like, you have no excuses anymore. We've seen everything. We've seen everything happen. We've seen America land in the most protected China, Cuba, Russia base with Hezbollah there as well, and like Iran and all these people that we are fighting against in one place, and like protecting this dude Maduro, and then America comes and like, la 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 la, fetch, take. It's way more complicated. Arresting a person is a lot more complicated than making them explode. Okay, because it's like, explode, you go, that's it. You kill, you run, that's it. You don't need to like, but no. They grabbed him and his wife, took him to court. Amazing. Yeah, you see, and this frog guy wants to dictate international policies. What's wrong with people? Oh, thank you, sir. Yours, Mim, for the compliment.
But it's not going to be the unified situation it is today. It's going to be this more fractured situation. And so those are the real political costs that are coming. And I would say by June 1st, now we're going through the primaries here and we haven't crossed the Rubicon yet of stage 3. But as that were to unfold, I would say it won't take long. You won't have to wait till August for this. This will, LBJ, when the bottom fell out of LBJ's presidency, it was March.
You know what I think, honestly? Like for example, yes, example. Sometimes you win, but actually you lose. So let's say, right? Let's think about what's his name? The guy before Churchill. Why did I forget his name? No, the loser, annoying loser guy that was friends with the Arabs. Come on, how can I forget this annoying person's names? Come on, you guys, help me out here. You know, the one that had achieved peace in our lifetimes by signing up an agreement with Germany. Oh, whatever. Anyway, the prime minister before Churchill in Britain, right? He was elected. He won. He was elected. He won. But now for some reason I don't remember his name. But everybody knows to spit when his name comes up. Is like, so he won. He won the election, but lost. He should have lost his name forever. He's cursed for eternity now. It was worse the win? No, wasn't. Sometimes you better lose the elections, win the country, Maybe something like that.
19.
The heck about elections. Anyway, no easy exit. I don't know. Why am I listening to this loser?
Intelligence for killing the Supreme Leader, and the bombs that killed the Supreme Leader were Israeli.
Is there a reason?
So we need to understand that I don't think we're in a situation anymore.
What's going on? Is that an alarm? I think there is an alarm. So you guys, I'm gonna put something for you to watch in the meantime. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I think that's an alarm. Hey, enjoy the sound.
Where you're going to get a deal here without pressure on Israel.
To do what?
I think the most likely thing, just to be very specific, is that Trump would have to force Israel to sign the non-proliferation treaty. Right now, what Israel wants is Iran to have no nuclear weapons and to have all this on-site inspection. Well, Israel has all these nuclear weapons and no on-site inspection because it's not part of the non-proliferation treaty. So I think that what is likely going to be the thing that will be discussed will be that Trump will force Israel to sign the NPT, which means tit for tat on-site inspection. If there's on-site inspection in Fordo, there's on-site inspection in some of the nuclear sites in Israel. So think about that.
So Israel would have to give up its nuclear weapons.
No. It would have to say. So just keep in mind, we are a signatory of the non-proliferation treaty, and we still have nuclear weapons. Here's the way that works, Constantine. And this has been going on since 1970, which is when you sign, you promise you will eventually give up your nuclear weapons. And notice how America has signed, and we still got a lot of nuclear weapons.
Just like everyone else.
Just like so that part is not real.
Right.
The real part is the on-site inspection, which is intel. That is the actual teeth in the NPT, you see. So that's the part that it's not actually giving up its nuclear. It may say that, but it's not the reality. The reality is that there will then be tit for tat. And President Trump, this is going to be a big political cost.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, you started a war because you wouldn't do a deal that you now have to do a worse deal.
Yep.
That's a humiliation. I mean, there's no two ways about it.
That is the that's what I'm saying. You pick your poison.
So it's either that, but what I also would like to explore.
And you can possibly save your presidency, or you don't, and you can't save what I'm saying is There's no option here to come out the victor here, like Gladiator, where everybody's cheering, okay, for the new general. That's not happening in this situation. And if we keep waiting for that, then what it is Lyndon Johnson. These are the real choices, I think, in front of the president. And what I'm saying is you're absolutely right. But this is why we have to put this bluntly out here, because people from your program will be listening to people in the West Wing will be listening. And this means very directly that they will have to put pressure on Israel. And that pressure will be threatening to cut off the military aid for real, not just kind of, now he can try to gussy it up. And by the way, President Trump, I do believe, just to put something here about why he might be able to do this, it's not just because of his relationship with Israel, but President Trump is the best PR politician we've had, certainly at the equal of Obama, certainly the equal of Reagan. Some of my friends who don't like Trump don't like it when I say this. I think he's better. Just think about this. He did January 6th and got reelected. Okay, just think about this for a moment. That we have not seen, I think, this level of understanding the media and he understands the media better than the media understands the media here. So if there's somebody who can recover his presidency, even with all these liabilities, I believe it is President Trump.
He can sell this deal as an actual victory to at least his base.
And enough time will pass. They'll find other things. We have time. He has time to recover. You take this down where we're still talking about this, not just talking, but fighting this war in July. That's gone. See, that's space. He needs space for the PR. This PR is not something he can ginny up overnight.
Let's talk about because temperamentally, I wonder, your assessment of 75%, just judging characters, I imagine he would be quite tempted to go with the hard option, potentially.
Well, sure, because he's faced with these horns of a dilemma and he has some hope. But I also think he put pressure on Netanyahu to stop the ethnic cleansing in Gaza in September. And I was one of the people who was thinking that he might well do that. And it's for the good of Israel, because I didn't believe that it was in Israel's interest to cleanse Netanyahu may think that, but I didn't think it was in Israel's interest. And I was on podcasts in this city. Norm Dorfman does the Comedy Cellar here, and so Norm Dorfman, yeah. He's. I'm sorry, I said the name. Norm's now he's going to get mad at me.
No,
but no, please, no. But you can go and listen, and he and I had let's call it a feisty hour and a half discussion.
You guys, I have no idea what he's talking about. I just came back. It was speaking of Hezbollah with all the missiles that they were aimed right now. It was Hezbollah. Yeah. Did you guys hear anything? Did you guys hear the booms? Anyway, we were speaking of Hezbollah. Hezbollah was like, oh my God. Okay, I guess we didn't blow everybody's balls off still. But it is what it is. It doesn't mean you don't have to fight Hezbollah. The only thing that with Hezbollah, you don't have much time because it's close. Lebanon is close to here. We don't have that much time to get ready to go to shelter. Like in Iran, we have like several minutes because it takes time for the missiles to arrive. But it takes 2 hours to fly there. So, I'm hearing that they were talking about Israel, but I have no idea what is going on. Now I want to know.
I kept saying.
Are we conquering South Lebanon? I think that's the plan. I think we're taking southern.
What you're not seeing is I believe that in fact President Trump himself may see the wisdom of going down this road, and I don't know if that at all. I'm not saying there's any connection here whatsoever. But what I am saying is that I do think that. That President Trump has the power, and I think he may well have the interest. He may see that what I'm saying here is the best for the country, the world, the region, and his own presidency.
Oof, now I'm curious.
Bob, I want to come back to...
What is that? What is he talking about?
Sign, you promise you will eventually give up. Likely thing, just to be very specific, is
What
that
happened?
Trump would have to force Israel to sign the non-proliferation treaty.
What? Did this guy lose his mind? Oh my God, you know? I thought we had political disagreement, but I guess we are escalating towards the, how did he call it in the beginning? Political. How did he call it exactly? Oof, why do I keep forgetting? Yes, I talked, by the way, yes, I did talk about Chamberlain being a loser before that. How did he call it? Anyway, political disputes. And we already established the fact that if we have something like that, putting people, holding people as hostages is not like a big deal. So this guy, the more he's like now, what did they just say? Did I hear correctly? This dude said that Israel should be forced to sign a non-proliferation agreement. Why? What does it have to do with anything, sir? Like I wanted to feed you in your basement when you are locked up there, but I'm losing the now I'm like thinking it should be like very low quality food. What the what? I cannot I didn't.
But number three, there's a very good chance that you're going to have Iran will not reopen the straits here on a consensual basis. Will not reopen the straits unless there's pressure put on Israel. Because
are you joking?
Israel is.
What does Israel has to do with the Strait of Hormuz? What? What the? What? No, what?
Constantine, that you're going to want to.
I'm so sorry you guys have to hear it again because I was running from the missiles. By the way, are there any hits? Maybe I should check that. But now I'm curious because I've seen you guys commenting on whatever he's speaking of, and I'm like, now I'm curious because it sounds like his thought line derailed into what complete craziness. What the?
Take your losses now, because you might be able to recover your presidency. If you wait, then you're in Lyndon Johnson where it's unrecoverable. Your presidency is just gone. You're a lame duck with 2 years to go. But so you're right. This is where I would advise the West Wing here. But what I would say is that the price you're going to have to pay, the politics price here is, it's not enough to
I was explaining that sometimes it's better. Okay, so political price bullshit. Okay, fine. It's better than being a Chamberlain. Chamberlain got elected, but he's a persona non grata in anyone's memory. So.
Then you're leaving this behind. If you really want to take option one, you're going to have to cut a deal with Iran. You're going to have to go back and you're going to have to cut a deal with Iran. Now, before the bombing started, here's what the deal looked like at 3:15 Eastern time in the Oval Office with Witkoff and Kushner. And we know this because this is exactly what they said, which is that Iran will not give up its enrichment. It wants to keep its 3.5%, and it's promising to meld together the 60 and 20% to 3.5. And President Trump said just not good enough. Well, in order to cut a deal now with Iran, you're going to have to accept that right away. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, you're going to have to probably accept the oil sanctions coming off. And given the price of oil is going up, notice that Buffett is already talking about doing that. Okay, so they're already doing that. That issue is already on the table. But
what is this person? What's like?
Number three, there's a very good.
Like you don't have to. Why did you choose to air it? Couldn't you just scrap it? And we're like, oh, we thought it was like a normal person, a professor, but actually is a lunatic. Like you can scrap it. You don't have to air everything. I know, like sometimes I film and then I watch it and I'm like, you know what? It's gonna bring too much negativity to the world. This is, by the way, why I kind of am hesitant to continue the publishing of the Netherlands series, because I realized that the situation in the Netherlands means that there is nothing nice to say. And I had a lot more to say, but I realized that Geert Wilders is only going down. The lunatics are taking over the Netherlands, and at some time, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to demoralize the people of the Netherlands. Like, maybe sometimes you don't need to, like, scrap it. You know, it's like they're dying anyway. I don't need to spit on them while they're dying, right? Like whatever they did, right? Whatever they did, clearly they're getting the, you know, like the girls are like everything that, like, the more I see what's going on at the Netherlands, I'm like, do I really need to like squeeze them and like go like and judge them and tell them that their priorities are screwed when they're literally like, you know, like what with everything that they're actually going through? It's like, do I need to put this negativity to the world? Like, no, this is why, like, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stop here, because from now on it's just gonna be like pounding on a dead body. So you can scrap it. You don't have to publish. Like, I understand how it feels. Like, you put a lot of work. I put a lot of effort. There's so many materials I gathered on the Netherlands. There's so much to say. And I was, and when I made these videos, right, that I was optimistic. I was like, here's the Netherlands. Here are basic things that you can do, and like your situation would get way better. But now I realize, like, actually it's only getting worse and worse. And it's like, and I have, and it's like, whatever, like, you know, it's not gonna be a good thing. It's like, if you have nothing nice to say. So I was like, I'll pause it until I find something nice to say, and then maybe, and like optimistic and something call to action, right? There is no need to like they're already down. I don't need to kick them as well, right? Scrape it. You don't have to publish everything.
That you're going to have
why did you
Iran will not reopen the straits here on a consensual basis. Will not reopen the straits unless there's pressure put on Israel. Because Israel is that bombing card. Israel has been, remember, the 12-day war wasn't started by the United States bombing Fordo. That happened in the middle. It was started by Israel. This war, the tactical intelligence.
How dare we? Why is nobody mentioning, like, you heard that barrage right now? You heard it, right? How did it feel to listen to it via the internet? How did it feel? Because before Israel attacked Fordo, there were way worse barrages that were sent by way scarier missiles from Iran. So, like, way bigger booms, okay, when it was from Iran, and it was a barrage, and it was before the 12-day war. Why don't you, like, I don't know, mention it, that it happened at least? How did it feel? Like, is anyone here not Israeli? It's the first time they heard what it sounds like when you have a barrage of missiles coming at you? Like, is anyone? Let me, you know what? Let me here. Do a like a survey. First time in hearing and what missiles, what missile there is sound like yes, no, heard it in videos, no, experienced, no, I lived through it. Through it. Okay, let's do a survey. I'm just curious, you guys. Anyway,
killing the supreme leader, and the bombs that killed the supreme leader were Israeli. So we need to understand that I don't think we're in a situation anymore where you're going to get a deal here without pressure on Israel.
To do what?
I think the most likely thing, just to be very specific, is that Trump would have to force Israel to sign the non-proliferation treaty. Right now, what Israel wants
What does this have to do with anything, sir?
Iran to have no nuclear weapons and to have all this on-site inspection. Well, Israel has all these nuclear weapons and no on-site inspection because it's not part of the non-proliferation treaty. So I think that what is likely going to be the thing that will be discussed will be that Trump will force Israel to sign the NPT, which means tit for tat on-site inspection.
You're saying it's not a barrage, just one drone. I don't know what it was, honestly. I mean, it's not. It doesn't sound like. I didn't. I was busy with you guys. I didn't think too much about it. But it's. I'm telling you, like, it's not. It wasn't anything that was too scary or too bad. But I'm just curious, like, what's the experience here?
If there's on-site inspection in Fordo, there's on-site inspection in some of the nuclear sites in Israel. So think about that.
So Israel would have to give up its nuclear weapons.
No. It would have to say. So just keep in mind, we are a signatory of the non-proliferation treaty, and we still have nuclear weapons. Here's the way that works, Constantine.
Oh no, I was answered. Okay, you slept through a drone strike. Okay, yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, I don't know what it was right now. I didn't come. Yeah. Okay. So nobody knows what just came in. All right. I think your reaction would dictate how you feel about it. I mean, people had their house hit, and their reaction is like, "Oh, my house was hit." I don't think you should judge by people's reactions. Honestly, like, it's a bad way to judge an event.
This has been going on since 1970, which is when you sign, you promise you will eventually give up your nuclear weapons. And notice how America has signed, and we still got a lot of nuclear weapons.
Just like everyone else.
Just like so that part is not real.
Right.
The real part is the on-site inspection, which is intel. That is the actual teeth in the NPT, you see. So that's the part that it's not actually giving up its nuclear.
What is it? I don't know. What is this? Why did you air it, Triggernometry? Why did you air this? What is this? I'm not reacting to the claims that it's making because it's not making a claim. As far as I'm concerned, they're just sitting there and saying, I'm a little twat, because it's British. It's a twat.
It may say that, but it's not the reality. The reality is that there will then be tit for tat. And President Trump, this is going to be a big political cost.
What tit for tat? What tit for tat? What tit for tat? I don't get it. It's like, I love this logic, okay? Because I'm a woman, I don't have balls, so you shouldn't have balls either. And because you don't have ovaries, you should, and I have them, I should also have my ovaries cut out. Am I getting this right? Like, this is the logic? Like, if I don't have balls, nobody should have balls. Is this the logic here? I also have a question. Is it in Russia or China? I think it's a plant for sure. Plant. This frog has no balls, no ovaries for sure.
I was going to say, I mean, you started a war because you wouldn't do a deal that you now have to do a worse deal.
Yep.
That's a humiliation. I mean, there's no two ways about it.
That is the that's what I'm saying. You pick your poison.
So it's either that, but what I also would like to explore.
And you can possibly save your presidency, or you don't, and you can't save your. What I'm saying is, there's no option here to come out the victor here, like Gladiator, where everybody's cheering, okay, for the new general.
I don't understand. Like this guy doesn't have his priorities straight. Like for him, it's more important for people to cheer on you than keeping your balls intact. I understand how transgenderism became a thing. It's like, oh, you're a transgender, you cut your balls off, and then everybody's cheering on you. That's his mindset, right? It's like it's more important that people will cheer on you than you keeping, you know. What's wrong? What the? Like, what is your priority, sir? It's like, why do you care? Why is it more important to be cheered on than keeping your I don't know, country intact or something? For me, like, I'm saying balls because I'm saying, like, to me, my country is just as important to me as any inner organ of, like, my heart, probably, right? And like, and so I would think like that the USA is just as important. And to be honest, like when you're that old, it's not always, you don't always need them anymore, to be completely honest. It's like you know, if you follow like the kind of procedures some leaders went through, you know that they don't do it anymore because of the procedure. It means that they can't. Anyway, it's medical area. But you know what, like something, I don't know. Let's talk about hearts, right? Like what? I'm sorry, are you trying? Don't, okay, why are there so many stupid people the saying of, if don't blame women for this one. It's not my, it's not, don't blame Eve didn't do anything. It's not her fault. It's not. No. Don't blame women for this, sir. I'm guessing Samuel sounds like a sir. Don't.
That's not happening in this situation. And if we keep waiting for that, then what it is Lyndon Johnson. These are the real choices, I think, in front of the president. And what I'm saying is you're absolutely right. But this is,
oh my God, everybody's, if you just like let go of this very important thing, like your country, then everybody's gonna like you. So you should definitely let go. What is wrong with this person? Like what? What is this frog person doing? Yeah. Why didn't you scrap it? Trying to see if they can get any updates from inside Iran. His problem is thinking he can buy love. You think he bought love with that? I think his problem is like, I don't get his genius.
That's why we have to put this bluntly out here, because people from your program will be listening to people in the West.
Yeah. This is why did you air it? People from your program is gonna be listening, and now you're gonna. Here's the thing: trigonometry. You're gonna sink this is a sinking ship. This person, like, why do you bring him on? It's like it's gonna sink your channel. Why?
Will be listening, and this means very directly that they will have to put.
Why? Come on, Mr. Christian, whatever his name. What is his name? Konstantin Kisin. Like, I thought like you were proud of your critical thinking. Where's your critical thinking telling you maybe we should not publish the toad person?
Pressure on Israel, and that pressure will be threatening to cut off.
Yeah, it's like I said, it does. It looks like the Konstantin looks like he's in pain. Listen. This is why, guys, this is the moment. Like, it's so important we listen to our feelings. It's very good. Like, your emotions, they are signals. It's an information. It tells you something. Okay? Like, take this interview and throw it to the trash. Why is it out? Why is it out, Konstantin? What have you done? What are you doing to yourself? You're gonna regret it.
The military aid, for real. Not just kind of, now he can try to gussy it up And by the way, President Trump, I do believe, just to put something here about why he might be able to do this, it's not just because of his relationship with Israel, but President Trump is the best PR politician we've had, certainly at the equal of Obama, certainly the equal of Reagan. Some of my friends who don't like Trump don't like it when I say this. I think he's better. Just think about this. He did January 6th and got reelected.
You know, you guys are saying, wait for it, okay? You're saying, okay, I'll finish listening and then I'm gonna say, because it calling Trump a PR genius triggers something in me.
Okay, just think about this for a moment. We have not seen, I think, this level of understanding the media and he understands the media better than the media understands the media here. So if there's somebody who can recover his presidency, even with all these liabilities, I believe it is President Trump.
He can sell this deal as an actual victory to at least his base.
And enough time will pass. He'll find other things. We have time. He has time to recover. You take this down where we're still talking about this, not just talking, but fighting this war in July. That's gone. See, that's space. He needs space for the PR. This PR is not something he can ginny up overnight.
Let's talk about the...
Okay. Here's where it takes me. My spirit, like my feminine tingling spirituality takes me here. Just let me tap into my feminism, or feminism, not feminism, femininity. All right. Here's what it gives. It's like I can imagine it, right? I mean, imagine like a woman presenting a doctorate thesis, and then all the people in the room talk about is what she looks like and the fact that she has presence when giving the lecture. Now, this woman, let's say this hypothetical person, worked on their thesis day and night, conducted research, really, found a scientific thing, and really worked hard on the research, and then everybody when she is out there to protect her research, everybody in the room only talk about her charisma when she speaks. Nothing to do with like the dissertation or anything, like nothing. It's like the person is out there being courageous, doing what every single American president said they would do, actually doing it, actually doing what's right to the country, having America in mind, having the world in mind, having humanity in mind, fighting for that it's not okay to kill 30,000 people in the street in one night, Iran. And he's a PR genius. He knows the media. He can work the media.
Because temperamentally, I wonder, your assessment of 75%, just judging characters, I imagine he would be quite tempted to go with the hard option, potentially.
Well, sure, because he's faced with these horns of a dilemma and he has some hope. But I also think he put pressure on Netanyahu to stop the ethnic cleansing in Gaza in September. And I was one of the people who was thinking that he might well do that. And it's for the good of Israel, because I didn't believe that it was in Israel's interest to cleanse Netanyahu may think that, but I didn't think it was in Israel's interest. And I was on podcasts in this city. Norm Dorfman does the Comedy Cellar here. And so Norm Dorfman, yeah.
Why didn't you think it's in our interest, sir?
Yeah, he's, I'm sorry, I said the name, Norm.
Like, why didn't you? Okay, I cannot do this anymore. I'm not apologizing for me not being able. I'm actually, I should apologize to you all that I made you listen to that for so long. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Also, Trump is also a PR genius. Yes, you can be a PR genius and you can be very pretty, but it's not. But it's like It's like just because you're pretty, when you are presenting your lifetime work, it's what it's true. It's an insult. Still, it's an insult. Oh yeah. I thought we are gonna talk about Israeli sold fake AI generated secretary. We're gonna. That's a good point. Yeah, it's true. It's true. They got arrested because they got paid by foreign agents. So they got arrested for it. But everybody's like, in Israel, we're like, why they should get a prize? Why did they get arrested for being for cooperating with foreign agents? So it's so funny. Ugh, I'm just why? Here's I need to show. Let me show you one thing. What did I want to show? Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah, important stuff that are happening. By the way, there are private footage that was shared of Karen's Owens. I mean, I heard she was a lesbian a long time ago, and like her husband, again, she's lesbian. But then everybody started talking about her husband being gay, and I didn't understand, like, weird, like, why was her husband outed? But I also heard she's a lesbian. Why is nobody talking about her being a lesbian? I guess now it's out. Now people are starting to talk about her being a lesbian. It's a comedic relief right now. Yeah, Baruch Hashem, I shut his frog up. I apologize. Sorry, you had. I'm just so baffled. Like, what? Why did you publish that? Here's another terrible thing. Did you guys hear of it? I'm gonna let you hear it because I want to go through the trigonometry comments for a second, and I don't want to torture you guys because I'm so curious about, like, I hope they got roasted for bringing him. And this case in Spain that you heard, I hope I trust Gadsad to explain it properly from this get-go, because this is what happens when you start thinking stupid thoughts like, oh, Iran is okay. Iran is not going to do anything. Why you shouldn't attack Iran?
Hi, everybody. This is Gadsad. I have been in the public arena documenting all kinds of lunacy for decades now, of course, leading to my writing The Parasitic Mind and my forthcoming book, Suicidal Empathy. So you'd think that I would be immune from hearing about astonishing cases, hearing about the lunacy that has gripped the West. Until this morning, I want to tell you the story of a young Spanish woman, Noelia Castillo Ramos, who in 2022 was gang raped by a bunch of minors, teenagers. Of course, the attack was so devastating to her personhood that she attempted suicide by jumping, I think, from a fifth floor, from a building on a fifth floor. She didn't die, and she became a paraplegic. She's so unable today to deal with the reality that has been inflicted by those teenagers that the Spanish authorities have agreed that she can, she is to be euthanized. Now, I don't know the identity of the folks in the young gang rapists, so I won't try to presume that I know their ethnicity, but we can probably guess what it might be. But irrespective
You guys, I'm sorry, the volume is just low like
of
that.
that, their identities cannot be known because as children, they must be protected so that they're not marginalized. This woman, I'm not sure if the euthanasia has already taken place. As someone who is genuinely empathetic, not suicidally so, I can't stop putting myself in her mind and saying, does this woman have the existential right to be free of being gang raped? Does she have the right to then at least see the right justice meted out to those kids? Or what's most important is that their identities not be revealed, because that could harm their trajectories for the rest of their lives. For whatever it's worth, I don't know this woman. I'm not Spanish. I don't know her parents. I'm several degrees removed from her, but I feel your pain. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, basically the same kind of mindset. Like, no matter how much and what Iran did in the world, which we did a lot, for some reason this toad guy didn't bother mentioning. By the way, he got roasted in the comments. They got like people don't like him at all, which brings me a lot of happiness. Yeah, it is super heavy. It's insanity. It's insanity what is going on in Spain. And then the Spaniards lost their mind with their communist leaders. Yeah, I'm so happy that I'm reading the comments on Triggernometry. That they're all saying what they think about this guy, and nothing is positive from what they're saying. Thank goodness the world is not completely insane yet. But what is this defeatist? Okay, so here's the thing I wanted to share with you, and I actually thought I'd start the podcast with. Let me see here. Here is another one. Why U.S. victory would be bad for Washington and the world. The possibility of Trump imposing his personal whims on another nation is even more frightening than U.S. failure. Bro, what? Why? Oh, here's Tom. Tom actually usually says nice things. Let's hear a little bit of Tom.
Hey, this is Tom, and for the past 3 weeks, we have...
And then I'm going to finish up with what I wanted to start with. They saying Spain had passed a law basically legalizing all of the they legalized all the immigrants. They just like all the illegal immigrants, like, no, you're Spanish. Spain lost their minds.
Hey, this is Tom, and for the past 3 weeks, we have seen the situation in Iran escalate. And right now, the markets are in total chaos. But counter to what you're hearing on mainstream media, and almost counter to your natural intuition, what we have right now is a setup that's being created that is about to generate one of the greatest investing opportunities of our lifetime. Certainly one that we haven't seen in decades. And
Oh, that's nice. I love how it's his Tom. When I hear him speak, like, he's always optimistic. This is the mindset you have to have. We will win. We will win. And give, like, but it's a combination of we will win, but there needs to be some resilience. There needs to be some resilience in the population in general. Like, you cannot be defeatists, because guess what? Nobody can afford to lose this war in Iran right now. Losing the war in Iran is detrimental to the entire world. I don't care where you are. It's bad for you. It's bad for the Iranians, number one. It's bad for the Middle East, number two. It's bad for Europe, number three. It's bad for everyone, entirety of the world.
I don't know when the next time we're going to get something like that. So as you notice, the markets are this bipolar behavior right now. One day, President Trump says about negotiations, the markets fly up, oil flies down. Then the Iranian regime says, no, there's no ceasefire. We don't agree. Oil spikes up, market go down. And every day we have this seesaw of bipolar overreactiveness by the market, which stems from uncertainty. The markets are confused. But in this video, I'll show you my plan and what smart, intelligent investors are doing right now to set up for what's being created. Unfortunately, most retail investors are not going to see the forest from the trees. They're going to be so consumed with headlines.
Yay, forest from the trees. I'm so glad somebody else brought this. If you guys, is there anyone here who didn't watch my video on Iran? This video, let me show you. If you didn't watch it, I'm gonna be super angry with you because I really worked hard on it. Let me this no. It's weird. I think, by the way, the chat is stuck. But let me show you for this video here, which I brought forest for the trees as well. With forests. Here. I was saying, you know what? You guys don't understand what it means that there is no water and like infrastructure collapse when it comes to people. I was like, I'll explain with forests. Those who look at trees miss the forest. And in Iran, that is not just... That's the part. But you guys watch it. Watch it and share. Please share it. Because here's how it starts. Okay, just so you guys know. It's funny because this is like I did an A/B testing and the thumbnail I'm saying is the thumbnail that was not chosen. So I don't know why I see the wrong thumbnail. The thumbnail that did that anyway, no matter what thumbnail it is, it ends with Iran war. So decay, infrastructure collapse, drought. Anyway, guys, if anyone here didn't watch it, go watch it. I love that we use the same phrase. And yes, Greg, for those who don't know, Tom is Greg's best friend and the right-hand man. Yes. So, here.
Headlines and short-term speculation and fear and greed that they will miss out on what's about to be created, because this is just the beginning and you ain't seen nothing yet. Now, in this video, if you don't click nothing, if you don't smash nothing, if you don't buy nothing, what I'll show you is how this opportunity is being generated and how smart investors are going to use this to create generational wealth. And if you watch today's video all the way to the end, you'll find out as well, because I'm not gatekeeping anything. I'm going to give everything away right now, absolutely for free. So check this out. There's a very interesting relationship between oil and stocks. A lot of people tend to say that the relationship between bonds and stocks is very important and often misunderstood, and that is true. But the relationship between stocks and oil is probably even more important, and I'll explain why. When we have a war in the Middle East, like we have right now, what happens is we have interruptions in the supply of oil, specifically in the Strait of Hormuz, which houses 20% of the global oil traffic in the world daily. So as the Strait of Hormuz is blocked or closed or blockaded or interrupted, what happens is we have a lot of uncertainty about the flow of global oil, which...
you guys, we're gonna get rich together now. Ready? Hello.
How are you?
What time is it in India? It's morning?
It's almost 5:30 in the morning.
Crazy.
So having a fever last
Surprise
day. So
guess, but I bet there are no Hindus left in the right now watching.
yeah.
I'll have to crop it. You ready to get rich? Because we're gonna. Do you wanna?
Get rich?
Yeah. Because Tom here explains what we should invest in when the oil
Who doesn't
price
want to get rich? Who doesn't want to get rich?
Well, yeah, we all want to get rich.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So how's
surprise.
going?
There is a problem with the chat updating on the software, unfortunately.
Okay.
But
I'm not seeing the chats. Yeah, I can. Hi all.
But everybody's saying hi and surprise, and hey, I'm here. I see it on my channel because the StreamYard is lagging. It's something weird.
It's been a long time that we have joined for a live on your channel, and I think we should do
Yeah,
it.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's such a like I thought you'd bring me over. I'm like, you know that there was a missile barrage in the middle of the live tonight, and everybody were like, oh my god, this is what it sounds like.
Oh, just now while you were going live?
Like an hour ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like,
so
I was just
2.5 hours
Huh?
now. It's almost 2.5
Yeah, it's
hours
been a while.
that you're live.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So how's
Right.
it going? Are you safe there? How's your mom,
Yeah,
dad,
everything's good.
and my grandpa?
Yeah. I'll say hi to Grandpa. I'll go visit him tomorrow.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
here's what do I want to say? Oh, you know, like the flights are like they close, like they basically there are no flights like at all, zero.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you know, it looks like it's gonna be for a while. Like the Delta flight, they canceled it until September.
September. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I looked at it and I was like, no, I want to travel. I want to see the world. I want to see India. I thought like I'd be in Japan now. And I have a friend who actually got stuck in Japan.
Right now.
Which is funny. Now he was like, okay, I cannot do Japan anymore. Now he's in Thailand. And he was trying to go back to Israel, and he said, you guys, you don't understand like what kind of a nightmare it is. He's like, never seen anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and other than that, like, you know, it's like missile barrage here and there.
Still, I saw a few videos where this cluster missiles were launched.
Yeah.
So is it still coming on? The cluster ones, or was it just once or twice? Or
no, they send them all. Like they experiment. They also sent a cluster missile. Like, listen, that they were like, if they split it to too many, they realized that the 20-kilogram ones, like, they don't do as much damage. So it's like it's more like a rocket. So they did something genius. They made it split into 4. I read it somewhere, and then it's like each one of them is like a heavy missile. You know, but it's still like it still splits. Yeah. So they're experimenting. They're sending everything that they can, like cluster ammunition, like everything. It's like you know, like really big
test ground.
You saw in the south, like they blew up an entire neighborhood that was like concentrated ammunition. Yeah. Oh, and you know what's funny? Because the one in Arad, so my mom's worker, she got tired of running to the shelter all the time, because she has to go to the public shelter, meaning it's not even in the building. It's like she has to run a block. So she got tired of having to run a block to the shelter all the time. So she was like, I'm gonna go to my father. Her father lives in Arad in the south, to have like a night of sleep. And then it hit 300 meters away from her, like the missile
cluster.
Not cluster, like a whole missile. And did you see the one that the Dimona one in Arad, and it basically wiped the block out, like several home. entire strait. And it was next to her, and it's now everybody like, and it's like she went to have a night's sleep, like finally, because it's like, you know, it's in the middle of nowhere. So who's gonna send a missile there? And then she went to sleep. That's when they struck that huge missile next to her.
So she attracted the problem.
and it was, I mean, her misery brought us a lot of laughs.
Okay.
Like just awful luck.
Is she safe? Is she safe now? Is she safe
She's
now?
still tired.
Oh.
She didn't get. No, she's safe. Yeah.
Okay.
Luckily, like.
Yeah. So people are saying hi. Hi, Bong James.
Hi.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Hello.
So we are planning another a tour package, or kind of an educative traveling to Israel to visit the places over there. So we are planning such a thing maybe next year after the conflicts are over. So we'll be over there.
Yeah, well, there are no flights right now, so for sure.
No, yeah. So we are planning to educate more people. So that's what we are trying to do.
I don't like misery education.
It's not misery.
Honestly,
I was like, I
don't like. It's like I don't like this. I know it's important. Like I know it's important.
Not about misery.
Like
it's about the reality over there. Like
it is the reality.
What not the misery. They are missing out a lot of things, like the history part over there, because I know what I was witnessing when I was there regarding the Romans and the Byzantines and other things. So that was so cool, something very interesting, and especially the people who were selling the merchandise around the Jerusalem, those areas where we could see Muslims and Jews and Christians all doing the businesses together. So that was something very interesting and something no one would ever expect, especially from countries or parts
Muslims,
of the world.
I know, just doing their business normally, like humans.
Even I have a few videos.
It's weird when Muslims do that. I agree.
I remember I went to a shop over there, and his name is Yusuf or some name like that. Ibrahim. His name was Ibrahim, and he was selling all items, like Jewish items, Christian items, and even Muslim items. Even the kafia. I bought a kafia from there, and I have that, and that's nice. I don't have it right now because I'm traveling. So that's the kafia that I used to wear in my live videos. You would have seen that on my profile picture. No, not here.
While you speak.
No, yeah, Malayalam.
Malayalam. It sounds the same. Come on, there's a difference. Same, say it.
But Hebrew is ha ha ha.
No. Say your language. What's the Malayalam? Say it.
Malayalam.
What's the name of the language? You see, Malayalam. Is there any difference? You guys, is there a difference between Malayalam and what I said? You say it's the same. It's the same word.
Malayalam it is. Malayalam നമ്മൾ നന്നായിട്ട് സംസാരിക്കണം.
Malayalam. Yeah, Malayalam. It's Malayalam.
So were you trying to educate something with that video? I didn't watch that.
Yeah. We were trying to get rich. We were trying to make a buck here.
Rich. So where have you reached?
Yeah.
Already rich or halfway?
It's like it just really the beginning. So he was saying people, like is explaining that there is a relationship between oil price and stock market and stock markets. We were just learning that there actually apparently there is something that connects them.
And if oil prices go up, what happens? Well, we have increased fear of inflation because everything we consume needs oil, needs energy. We need energy to produce goods, to move those goods from point A to point B, etc., etc., etc. So the higher the oil prices are, the more we have fears of inflation. And if inflation comes in and hits us when the economy is already being kind of shaky with bad job numbers, with a lot of macro uncertainty, well, we have an increased risk of recession. And if we have a recession, well, at least an elevated risk of a recession, that means that the stock market collapse is now becoming
I know. I mean, it means Hitler is gonna rise.
a risk. Now, not certain, but definitely a risk that has to be priced in. So oil prices can quickly take us down this rabbit hole and bring us to a stock market collapse. Now, not every oil price spike in history have caused this. In fact, very few. But certainly when this happens, the risk gets priced in by the stock market, because the stock market is very, very future facing. Whenever we have the smallest, tiniest risk, it's always going to get priced in today based on the absolute worst case scenario. And the worst case scenario is what we've seen in the 70s. In the 70s, we had a weak economy, we had inflation, high oil prices, and high interest rates that took us into a massive recession that took years to fix with Paul Volcker and the Fed, et cetera, et cetera. This was this stagflationary nightmare of the US economy in the 70s. And when everybody is right now looking at the situation, the fear is that this may play itself out in 2026. That is the fear that is being priced in.
Wait, I'm gonna do it a bit like, where is the playback speed? Here, 1.125.
By the stock market, even if we're not even close to this, but the fear and the uncertainty will always
Is
get
it too fast?
No, it's fine.
priced in first, and then as we go forward, the stock market will start to slowly de-escalate. The concern
Then you reduce to 1.5, you'll find it even more smoother. Increase it
One
first,
point.
then
You're saying I should do I should do.
reduce it to 5.5.
Oh,
1.5.
I see.
Then you will find it
is
more
that
easy.
if oil prices do not
Yeah, it's a bit. Wait, okay, fine. I'll do 1.5. If the master says I do 1.5, it's good. For 5 a.m. How what is 5:30 a.m. for you?
Yeah, it's 5:45 now, a.m. in the morning.
5:45 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so the obvious thing is to study about how to make money in the stock market.
Yes, we call it the Brahma Muhurta.
come down,
Yeah, the Brahma Muhurta.
Yes.
Yes.
Brahma Muhurt.
if the Strait of Hormuz isn't open, and if the prices of oil do not come down, what happens? Well, then
Yeah, it's actually easier to understand for some reason.
the Federal Reserve, which is currently in a quantitative easing cycle, essentially putting more money into the market by lowering the interest rate, right? The Federal Reserve will have to say, look, folks, we would love to help the economy and put more money in to prevent us from crashing, but we cannot. Because if we actually do not increase rates right now, what's going to happen is that the oil prices that just spiked might bring us back to inflation territory, which we actually just came out of. So instead of cutting rates and putting more money into the system, the reaction of the Fed to elevated oil prices, if they become sustainable and long-term, is increasing the rates, just like Paul Volcker did back in the late 70s and the early 80s. And when you increase rates, what happens is that the money supply in the economy goes down. When people have less money, businesses can borrow less money, et cetera, et cetera. That starts a recessionary cycle and the stock market crash, okay? This is the worst case scenario of the economy. And right now, this uncertainty is being priced in by stocks. And that's why you're seeing this, parabolic spikes one day, then complete crashes the next day. Everything is just chaotic. It's going haywire. This bipolar behavior by the market.
Okay, we're 6 minutes in. Do you understand how to be a billionaire already?
Yeah. I'm already a
I
millionaire.
don't. Billionaire, I said. Like, do you understand now?
Yeah.
Like, because I like, we're 6 minutes in and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do yet. So
Is a result of this risk getting thrown into the mix. If you look at what happened since the beginning of 2026, we're now in the end of March, okay? And in the end of March, what we're seeing is that oil is up 35% because of the war in Iran. NASDAQ is down 6% in a quarter. The annual return of the S&P is 10%, but now it's down 4% in the quarter. So both tech and the overall stock market, broad market index are down 6% and 4%, while oil is spiking, okay? Now, this is on top of what I call sluggish macro, because we've seen job numbers not being great before the war started. And right now, what may happen, as I mentioned earlier, is this may cause a prolonged pause by the Federal Reserve to not further decrease rates and help the economy by putting more money into the system, and maybe eventually an increase in rates to counter the effect of elevated oil prices, okay? As long as oil prices stay elevated for longer, the Fed is locked out from helping the stock market, because the Fed cannot reduce interest rates while oil prices go up, because This is an inflationary recipe. When oil prices spike and you decrease rates, you're creating inflation, and the Fed will not be able to do so. So for the Fed to help the economy by cutting rates and putting more money into the system, oil prices must come down. And as long as the war continues, as long as there's no solution in sight, well, the stock market is going to price this in. So that is why when Donald Trump puts out a post or a tweet or whatever they call it these days and saying, well, we have negotiations with the Iranians and we're making great progress, poof, you're seeing the prices of oil plummeting down. The next day, the Iranian regime comes out, says the opposite, oil prices spike. There is an internal geopolitical battle between Trump and the Iranian regime. They want to spike oil prices. He wants to keep them down. Where does it leave us as smart long-term investors? We really have three options here. And those are the three options we have right now to choose from. One would be to keep holding and doing nothing, let it blow over. One would be to buy more, essentially buy the dip. And option number three would be to sell and essentially get out, wait until this whole thing kind of blows over, wait until the smoke clears, and then go back into the market. Now, before we choose between these strategies, and by the way, when I'm finished, and I'll tell you what I think is the best strategy, I'll also give you something for free. I'll give you a list of my top 15 stocks to buy and hold for the next 10 years. So after we're going to do this, I'm going to give you a gift, a free 15 stocks for 10 years list. It's absolutely for free. You're getting it today in this video. So wait for it. But before we go through the stocks list, I have to explain to you how my strategy is built. So for that, we have to see the foundation. And the foundation is very simple. My main assumption here, before I make a choice, is that I assume, unlike potentially maybe others who...
Who is this guy? I'm new to him. First time listening.
Tom
Nash? Tom Nash.
He's a nice guy.
Okay.
He's Greg's friend.
Okay.
He said that Greg says he warned about something for a while now.
Greg. Okay. Okay.
I have no... I mean...
Okay, let's...
think they can, but I assume I have 0.0 ability to predict where the price of stocks are going to be in a month, in a year, in 6 months. I just don't know. Okay. So my question is, what is the best strategy without being able to predict what the stock market is going to do? Because if you go across mainstream media right now, well, there's a lot of different experts on it, explaining to you what's going to happen in the month, in the year, giving you predictions, etc., and everybody is free to make predictions. In fact, in this video, I'll make my prediction about where I think the S&P will be by the end of the year. But those predictions are like opinions, and opinions are like potholes. Everybody's got one. It's not really enough to formulate a strategy. So for strategy, you have to assume you cannot time the market, you cannot predict the market, and if you can't, what is the best thing to do when the market is uncertain and chaotic, is in total state of uncertainty and fear? Right now,
bomb Iran. For
that
sure.
Not everyone can afford to.
I mean, if you can afford to bomb Iran.
Based on the CNN Fear and Greed Index, where it's 16 or 17.
What?
So you mean to say that if you want to get rich, you need to bomb someone?
Oh no, nothing to do. Like, I mean, if you don't know where things are going, bomb Iran just to make you know.
Okay, just bombing.
For just YOLO.
Okay. Which is extreme fear. So what do you do in this situation, especially during geopolitical crisis and uncertain macro data, et cetera, et cetera? For the past 100 years, we have a lot of data on how the pattern or the life cycle of the stock market behaves. And this data is going to shock you. Look, over the past 100 years, we're going to look only on data and facts.
I think you should send money to your favorite YouTubers. It's as an investment.
Me,
yeah. I mean, there are people watching. Send us money.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay. Donations.
And we're not going to use any gut feelings when you have a...
As an investment.
Gut feeling, go to the bathroom. It has nothing to do with investing, okay? No gut feeling, no intuition, just hard data. So for the past almost 100 years, since 1932, the average bull market in the US stock market lasted 4.9 years. And the average return of the average bull market is 180%. So on average, bull market is a time where the stock market goes up, last in America about 5 years and yield about 180% return on the S&P 500. On the contrary, when we have a bear market, essentially a market that goes down 20% or more, well, that tends to last on average 1.5 years, and the damage on average is 35%. So right there and then, what you can see is there's a massive difference in the length of bear markets and bull markets. So the stock market is mostly green and it's mostly up, and it's very seldom that it does this. And even if it does, it's much short-lived than the bull market. And even if it does, it is much less damage than what the benefit you get in this. Now, if you look at the current setup right now, we have been in the bull market since 2023. So we've been in the bull market for 3.5 years, and so far we yielded about 88%, okay? So we're about 50% on the average, and we're still below the average length as well. So as it pertains to people who keep telling you, this is year 4 of a bull market, this cannot continue forever. We're not even at the average, not on length of years and not on return percentage on the S&P 500. We're not even half on the return. This is not an unusual market we have right now. The fact that we're up for the 4th year in a row and we're up 90% since the last bear market, it's not enough. It's pretty much on par with averages. Now, the problem is that humans have a bias, and this bias is called the pain bias. So if you make $1, the great feeling of making $1 is about half of the horrible feeling it is that losing $1. Losing $1 hurts twice as much as winning $1.
What's the
I got
bias
tired.
called? Yeah, what's the bias called? Penny bias.
It said like it hurts more to lose money than it is like
Yeah,
to gain
what's the
money.
name? What's the term for that? That he used?
Pretty much on par with averages. Now, the problem is that humans have a bias, and this bias is called the pain bias. So if you
Pain
make $1,
bias.
the great feeling of making $1 is about half of the horrible feeling it is that losing $1. Losing $1 hurts twice as much as winning $1. And that's why this feels more scary than it actually is. So for the past 20 years, we have done 16 years of a bull market with 500% upside. In those same 20 years, we had 3 bear markets. One that lasted 2.5 years, one that lasted 1.5 years, one that lasted 10 months. 49% down, 57% down, 25% down.
I still don't understand what I'm supposed to do, like, at all. Like, he says he still think that we are in bull time, right? Because it's like, it's...
Yeah, he's telling that...
So 5...
Yeah, there are bull years and bear years. So the total amount of years in total, bull is always more than what it loses.
So should we buy a cow or a bear?
So maybe he'll be saying that...
Because I don't know where to buy a bear. I
panic.
think I can buy a cow, but I don't know where to put it.
Not to panic.
But I don't know. I don't know if I can buy a bear. But maybe this is why in bear years nobody buying anything, because everybody's like, where do I get the bear? It's like, and then people don't buy because what can, like, there is no bear to buy.
Okay, so let's listen.
Thank you so much, Neo, for your support. 7635. You see, that's an investment, you guys. Invest in us. Yes, thank you.
And between, by the way, I'm part of a new channel now. I started joined with a team here. So a media channel, Make Sense Media. That's the name. So
really?
It's in the local language. Yeah, very soon we'll be launching it in English too. The website will be in English. Yeah, but the YouTube is in Malayalam. Malayalam.
Yeah. Everything is
about the investment.
It's okay. I'm gonna understand that as basically on the same level. I understand what he's trying to say here. So
years in total of the past 20 years.
Actually, like, to be honest, it's kind of boring. What do you think is gonna? What do you think? What is your prediction for the market as a geopolitical expert, sir? Arif?
What I'm doing right now is I'm holding, and if I can afford, I will buy more. That's what I would do. It's a long-term strategy. I'm not doing it short-term. And if you do it short-term, the possibility is that you will be reacting to in a panicked way, and that can cause you losses. So if you can afford to stay, holding on is the best strategy, because anyway this is gonna improve with time, maybe with years. So just hang on. That's what I would say. And if you can afford, you can buy more. I
think it's boring because I don't get it. True.
Buying more can average the total price, the unit prices, so that you can.
I'm like, so you're saying we should hold right now?
Hold and buy if you can afford, so that you can lower the price.
Greg says it's not how it works.
Huh?
Greg says it's not how it works.
Oh, so what is he saying?
I have no idea.
Yeah, we need to learn then.
We should do it together, or if we should both like start investing and be like gamblers.
No gambling.
Because gambling like here's the thing is right. Like here's where I tell you, don't invest in Europe.
Gambling is haram, you know. Gambling is non-kosher.
I wonder where is the like wouldn't it be like better to hold your money for now and then wait for investment opportunities in the new Iran?
Mm-hmm.
That way you can feel like.
So let Greg say how it is. Can he join and explain what exactly?
Greg, do you want to join and explain how do we invest now? Seriously, now it's time to invest in Israeli real estate. It goes up in value. Yeah, because we get less and less of it. And more Jews who are coming to the country. That's genius.
Yeah. Greg,
You know?
please join. Please explain to us.
Okay, Greg is going to join. Okay. Here. Sending you the link on Discord. Greg.
We're waiting for you, Greg.
Yeah, Greg, where are you?
Get ready with the music.
Oh yeah. There is a great way to make money. Okay, that's genius. But you can get arrested. That's the sad part. So here, where is it? I need to show you guys.
What's written in that?
Because Israelis sold information. They said that they serve in Unit 18200 to Israelis from Jerusalem. Told Iran that they serve in the Unit 8200, which is the intelligence. It's like the NSA. And they generated fake AI and then sold it to the Iranians as if it's intelligence and got money from Iran for that intelligence. So, but they got arrested because it's being in touch with the foreign agents. But everybody is like, why are they getting arrested? They sold the Iranians fake AI generated intelligence. It's hilarious. They should get a prize. That's what people were commenting.
Yeah, where is Greg? We are waiting for you.
Yeah, where is Greg? I sent him the link. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Hello. Okay, how do we make it? Here.
Hello,
and by the way,
just make sure it's not reverbing, so give me a sec.
Sure.
All right, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so first of all, part of what Arif was saying does carry a lot of merit and a lot of truth, but it's very partial. You see, Arif, the strategy you refer to is basically, I don't know how to analyze the market. I don't know how to recognize bearish cyclicality. And so I'm just gonna DCA, down cost average, into it. But you realize that the stock market does not care about your retirement plan. How do you know that exactly and precisely as you're about to, exit the market, liquidate at some point, we're not entering a bearish cycle? So the approach is not just to, well, first of all, definitely not gamble, like Rebecca said. Definitely don't do that. That's a bad idea. Preferably do learn technical analysis, which then allows you to identify cyclicalities, trends, patterns, momentum. Use these tools together to truly understand when these cyclicalities happen. Now, if you think for a second, there is a very well-known 100-year cycle in the market. I bet my ass you heard about it, right, Arif?
Yeah.
When was the last 100-year crash?
The way you ask it, nobody would say no.
1930s by any chance? So the question is here, do you realize we're now at the 100-year mark, give or take, with standard deviation or marginal error? So, and if you look at the 100-year crash, which happened in the 1930s, was 86%. So considering that the market may crash or correct 50%, that's peanuts. And in fact, cyclically wise, it's meant to happen. So ironically, by the way, if you watch my channel, I was warning about all the current financial events that are occurring in the stock market, literally as we exited out of COVID. What a lot of people don't realize, these waves
it's like the Spanish flu.
It's a ripple effect. Actually, funny that you mentioned the flu. You don't realize, but the ripple effect of what we're having right now is a direct ripple effect of what? COVID. Guys, the supply chain hasn't recovered since COVID. Not mislead yourself. Think about it. Geopolitical conditions gotten worse. I mean, the processes that are being done by Donald Trump are definitely to improve, but it's
and
the
AI
same
is taking all the jobs.
and AI is taking all the jobs. I mean, jokes aside, this is part of the equation. This is actually part of the equation why inflation is so bad in general, why spending power is so bad. All these things are part of an outcome of a singular equation, why things are looking the way they are. And unfortunately to say, if you are aware of the cyclicality, you realize that, again, these things take at least several years. So sure, you can DCA blindly because you don't know any better, or you can actually learn how to analyze the market and understand where is the lower band and swing it. Nobody says to trade it, but again, and by the way, that's the sort of the irony of people not knowing about technical analysis and misinterpreting that and directly correlating it with day trading, which is incorrect. It doesn't matter whether you day trade, invest, or whatever you consider yourself, which, by the way, some people are both. So what are you then, a penguin? You know what I mean? You simply need to see and be able to
It's an option to be a penguin?
read the map of the market and then base your decision upon that. Does that mean you have to be a trader or an investor? Nor you have to, do you have to classify yourself or limit yourself in whatever way? No, just operate based upon what the market gives you. And that is the cyclicality. And if you don't know about it, there is no way for you to, again, you cannot connect the dots you don't know about, kind of, if that makes any sense.
So what's your strategy?
I am a technical analysis expert and have been an account manager and worked in the industry for many years. I worked with Tom Nash hand in hand. Tom focuses on DCA and fundamental analysis, versus that I focus on technical analysis. And if you actually join Tom's community and his meetings, at the end of every meeting, he recommends me as a technical analyst to go and learn from. You see, Tom has, he has a family, kids, he's a busy man. He doesn't have the time to deal with it, nor does he care. He truly has the funds, the liquidity to keep on throwing at the money at the market until he's satisfied. He's a champion of various assets and assets that he likes, like Palantir, Tesla, and so on, and mainly focused on those and the S&P, right? But again, that is a very hands-off strategy, and he teaches that. I have much more of a hands-on strategy, but that is applicable to what I think right and suitable for my lifestyle, meaning I know what I'm doing, first of all. Second of all, I can afford myself to do that. In fact, by the way, I have an academy and I teach people how to do this. I have a whole YouTube channel. So we have different approaches, but each and every approach is suitable to what we do. Funny enough, by the way, we share between us some students that both learn his strategy and mine. And who's to say you can't apply both simultaneously? Again, who's to say you cannot be invested in a company, simultaneously trade it? Who's to say you can't? Opportunity presents itself, why not? Again, the trick of being a good, successful market participant is not to try to tell the market what you want from it, but rather identify what it's doing and ride that.
All right.
Okay.
So you eat a cake and leave it all.
Yeah.
Sorry?
How about a person who was already an investor and who had taken the money invested through partial withdrawals in the past many years, and now when he or she is facing this crash, it's easy for that person to stay invested. Will that work?
Repeat the circumstance. I'm not sure I understood it fully. I just want to make sure I really understood the whole description.
Yeah, it's like for a person who is an investor since long, maybe years, and who has already taken the chances of regaining or gaining the profits in the past crashes, all are gone.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Greg is gone. Yeah, he's here.
No, I'm not gone. I don't know what happened. I've been listening. I don't know what's going on. I tried to activate the camera, but it's refusing to work. But no, I've been listening. Okay, so basically it's somebody who has been invested, liquidated their assets. But the question is whether that was in profits, that was profitable endeavor, or did they lose money?
Yeah, profitable. Who has already taken the money invested. And now whatever money which is right now invested means it is a kind of a bonus for that person.
That's that's a very, very interesting question, but kind of to give you an analogous and not to even refer to myself nor Tom. Let's refer to someone who's significantly more knowledgeable and established, Warren Buffett. What is Warren Buffett doing right now? Well, what is Berkshire Hathaway are doing right now? Are they mainly in cash? Yes, they are. Have they been since COVID? Pretty much since me, Michael Burry, and various other, again, people who do understand cyclicality and the conditions have been saying that, yes, guys, this thing may take a little while. Look, Arif, it's almost like reversing a tanker. Imagine a gigantic tanker in the water, right? It's going forward and has momentum. Imagine you somehow now switch into reverse. You realize this gigantic ship will continue floating forward, slowing down, maybe sure, more rapidly now that you're slowing down actively in reverse, until it actually kicks in reverse. So yes, it's taking a lot longer than people expect, but look, your impatience does not affect the market by any means. I mean, if you tell that to Warren Buffett, you say, well, you know, I've liquidated and I've been waiting for all this time, and he's going to say, well, who cares? You know, it's all about what again, it refers to what the market cyclicality is. You cannot rush the market because you're bored and you want to make more money right now. It's that human tendency. It's that greed. It's that I want, you know, everything yesterday. The market, the professionals are actively pointing towards a major correction that fits cyclically time-wise, that fits on the momentum sort of side of things, if you really go through that. So again, to each their own. I cannot tell you and advise. Look, and there's always going to be a sector. There's always going to be an escape, which, by the way, ironically, this time around, if you pay attention to safe havens such as precious metals, ironically, they are kind of falling and are in tandem with the vastness of the market, although they're supposed to be moving adverse to one another. So where is the error? There is no error. Again, that's part of the cyclicality. Their frequency is different. So if we could be what appears to be at a high point on both, and both start correcting, who's to say that precious metals will not pick back up? Again, so there's always a haven. There's always something to do. The fact of the matter that you feel like, you know, it's been for so long and you haven't found a strategy to generate money while this happening, to be in a rush will not benefit you by any means. It's, you know, greed. It's basically, it stems from greed. It's thinking like, oh, or you know what, to be more precise, FOMO, because you're sitting there, you're thinking, you know, I've been waiting for all this long and I haven't been invested in anything. Am I missing now on a generational opportunity? Are you maybe missing out on a turnaround? Pay attention. Look at the indices. Look how they look. We've been flattening for the past 4 months, and the curvature right now is pointing downwards. Sure, I know how that feels. People like, well, the market mostly goes up. Yes, it mostly goes up when you're completely zoomed out and you look at the 12-month chart. Zoom in just for a little bit. Realize that downturn that looks very tiny on the 12-month chart, it actually took, I don't know, potentially 2 years. And we humans, we feel the market day by day, minute by minute, even though you are an investor and you don't care about the market ebb and flow and fluctuations, but you wake up to them and you see them and you hear the noise. And that, what does? Affects your emotions, which affect your execution. So again, yes, you can ignore it, all that, or you can just simply understand what's going on and not panic based upon that and be impatient because, you know, feels like, come on, I should be making money. Tesla, SpaceX, all that stuff going on. How am I out of this? Sometimes it's not the right time. Look at the dot-com bubble. Look, these companies, where are they? Most of them have succeeded quite significantly since. Most of them, those who have not collapsed. But did that happen right away? No, it didn't. It took a long time.
Can I read something which I just searched now about Warren Buffett and Berkshire?
Please do.
Yeah. So it's I just took it from the Gemini. Okay. So Warren Buffett's historical and current stance regarding major geopolitical conflicts, including the ongoing 2026 US-Iran war, emphasizes that investors should avoid holding cash and instead focus on owning productive assets.
Right.
So that's one. And core investment advice during war. 1. Avoid excess cash. Buffett warns that the value of money money almost inevitably drops during a major war. Own productive assets. Instead of pieces of paper, he suggests owning assets that retain value regardless of currency fluctuations, such as farms and real estate, tangible assets that produce essential goods or provide housing. Securities in essential companies, high quality businesses that provide necessary goods and services, then stay in the market. Regarding the market, that's what he says.
Right. No, he's right. Under the conditions, of course, the currency will be devaluing. So if you hold it in form of cash, you're basically losing money in a way. Although if you are a smart person, you understand that thing fluctuates, Forex fluctuates up and down. And by the way, as the dollar decreases, guess what? The rest of the world ain't doing any better either. So it all folds together in relativity. So it doesn't really matter all that much. But he's right. Generally speaking, there is always an opportunity, especially in turbulent times, again, war times. Farming is always a good idea. So basically what he's trying to point out that the regular tech sector, again, notice he didn't say a single word about the tech sector. He didn't say buy Tesla. He didn't say Microsoft. He didn't say Micron, although we know how well some of them have been doing, right? So
buying cows. I told you, cows.
Actually, jokes aside, he's basically saying, buy farmers, buy tangible assets and businesses that generate income. Jokes aside, Rebecca is right. Buy cows, in essence.
Oh, so that was right.
I mean, but Arif, when was that not true? Since forever, it was always true. Buy, farming land, and if you can maintain it and make it yield and produce, of course, it's a good thing. The problem is that some people buy these lands and think that automatically they're going to start yielding shit. It doesn't work like that. You got to invest time, effort, workers, whatnot, energy.
And one statement is here. Buffett has famously stated he would continue buying stocks even if World War III were a certainty.
Right. Because you understand his liquidity. Right. Because you understand that he has clientele and he has to find an avenue of generating income irregardless. So what? Because he's going to be. Look, he's always going to be allocated. First of all, by the way, he's retiring. Greg is coming into play like basically in no time. So it doesn't matter. But still, it still doesn't matter. It is still going to be Buffett's doctrine. That's why Greg is there, right? Greg would not get the position if Buffett wouldn't think he has the right sort of material, right? So look, Warren, or rather Berkshire, will always be in some positions. There will always be some level of allocation. But if you compare to prior years or upcoming into COVID, the dude is basically 90% cash. The fact of the matter that he has so much of it and he has to be allocated somewhat, and he does dispense wise advice. But again, you got to take even that with a grain of salt and with some level of perspective. So again, he didn't say a single word about tech. He didn't say a single word about most sectors that most people will focus on. And real estate, something people don't like to think about. Real estate is a major headache. Yeah, you got to deal with it. You got to maintain it. You got to deal with annoying tenants. You got to keep up with it. It's a lot of headache. Saying it on paper, real estate sounds fun. By the way, real estate right now doing it really bad. By the way, in Israel, real estate is now, well, not all of it, but some of it is 8% down, not because of the war. And even some experts are predicting some form of 2008-like scenario in Israel because, well, people who shouldn't be getting mortgages got mortgages. Let's just say that. And especially now, most of these people, businesses closed down. Again, we're in war. Some people don't even work right now. So what? Surviving on subsidies? How the hell are you going to pay your mortgage again? We see what's happening here again. Look, all of this thing, this pitfall that we're moving
and this is why Israel should take over Galg Island.
And that's why Israel should take over everything with that justification.
By the way, yes, I think I hate this doctrine. We went to war. We grab everything. Fuck them.
But funny, but no, we can't do that. At the end of the day, all that stuff belongs to the Iranian people once they reform and become, a normal country, removed from all that, Islamic Brotherhood nonsense.
I'm not talking about the Iranians. I'm talking about Lebanon and the gas fields.
You're talking. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Iran.
I thought we're talking about the energy
I want Iran.
I misunderstood.
No, listen. If there is no regime change in Iran, we take out everything out of Iran. No question. But if there is a regime change, 100%. Like also, plus we're gonna gain way more if the Iranians are in the game because we have so much to gain for them from them, like from us having somewhere industrial, right. Because we are not a big enough country for it to develop industries. We need places to develop industries, and I think so there's some and now that we are like so early in the game, we can shape the industry you know,
Oh,
infrastructure
absolutely.
wise, how we
One way or
want.
another, it doesn't matter.
So
having
there's
a
so
benef-
much more to gain from like having money to build that infrastructure, which is
Right.
basically Israel would take the Iranian oil and then build in the factories that Israel needs in Iran. Obviously, that's
Again,
a smarter
any
way to use the
relationship
cost.
will be, of course,
But-
meaningful and beneficial.
But
of
when it
course.
comes to Lebanon, FM, we take that's it. The gas is ours.
No, I didn't realize that's what
No.
you meant. No,
No, I'm not joking.
yeah, that's that.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
that's actually my
And
channel.
same with
correct.
Gaza. We need a port there.
So you
That's
gained a
it, like-
subscriber.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So nice time, Greg and Rebecca. Can I leave
And
now?
all those people. Yeah,
No, Arif, you're a prisoner from now on. You stay with us
Yeah,
until forever.
it.
That's it.
Where you see how we talked about like the loot of war and this ex-Muslim ran
Exactly.
away?
Your loot of war. That's it, Arif. Nothing to do here. You stay with us.
It's like,
No, but it was a pleasure. I mean, you actually, you definitely understand your stuff, and it's a pleasure to talk to you. But I would recommend going deeper. I wouldn't say, it's like it suffice to know fundamental and just blindly DCA. You know what? Just learn. Worst case scenario, you would not like the strategy. You don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I spoke out of my experience. Like, I'm not a person who, not an economist or someone like that. I'm by profession, I'm entirely from a different field, but I do these investments and just keep on reading and listening to you and other people like you.
My
So I
pleasure.
just
No, we
thought
all
of
do.
sharing. Yeah. So
Also, listen to Tom.
Thank you
Tom,
so much.
again,
Now I'll-
he's brilliant. In fact, funny enough, Tom, naturally, before he met me, before we became friends, he used to advocate against technical analysis because how rare actual professionals within that sphere are, and actually knowledgeable people who are truly professional. Again, I worked in that sphere for literally a decade and a half before I sort of went independent around COVID. But that is rare. Most people are just bullshitters, to be fair.
So we'll catch up later. Thanks,
Indeed,
Rebecca.
Arif.
I think
Pleasure.
you guys
And-
stay because I'm gonna wrap up with everybody. I
Yeah,
think
likewise.
it's like 3 a.m.
You're
time
wrapping
to-
Almost 3.
We're all gonna
yeah.
go to sleep.
Oh,
Hopefully, we're gonna go
Yeah.
to sleep. Say that.
you must
All
sleep.
right.
I just woke up and you are to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Stay there. We'll-
probably
we'll talk
4 a.m.
for 2 hours.
Iran has a tendency now to wake us at 4
No,
a.m.
Rebecca, you stay there.
Yeah.
We'll speak for 2 hours more.
It's like,
No.
Arif, you don't know how
What?
it is. It's like right now,
I thought
both
you
of
were
us are
leaving.
gonna, we're gonna end the stream, go do our stuff, and the second each and every one of us is gonna go into bed and close our eyes.
The second
siren will
you
start.
enter the best part of your sleeping cycle, you get
Yeah, it's
And-
I gotta say,
and
the way they time it is fucking phenomenal. I gotta
I
give it to
know.
them.
I
And-
know.
and where are
it
you
ev-
both
it even
from?
doesn't matter if like
I'm from
like,
Israel.
I sleep
I'm
during
from
the
the
day,
center.
they fire
Oh,
during your
okay.
day. I sleep at night.
So
they
next time
fire
we are
during
gonna meet
the
there.
day.
Absolutely, hope so.
Yeah. So we'll meet up at Rebecca, Rebecca's home.
Yes.
Indeed.
That's-
Yeah.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Bye, Arif.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
Anything
Thank
to
you.
say, Arif, to finish up? To wrap up? Nothing? Go
Make peace.
follow.
We need
Yes.
we need. That's
Listen,
what we-
if when you loot people when they started the war, next time they're not gonna start it because they're like, oh shit, we actually lose something.
This should be
That's
the
peaceful.
last war. This should be the last one.
Yes, I agree. Actually, if there are no enemies to fight with you, it's gonna be better. For sure.
Enemies should finish
like-
now.
Yeah. It's like the real peace comes with submission.
Right.
Bye everybody.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.